This world is a place where the blood of the meek is spilt, and the ones who drink it are the strong. In a dark forest, a single stag-like creature is feeding, and two men are on the hunt, an older one instructing the younger one to shoot like he was taught previously. His hand quivers as he pulls back the arrow, but suddenly, a loud thud permeates through the forest, causing the stag to flee. The man begins to cry out, as Johann has just broken his very precious bow. Johann scratches his head and notes that this thing snapped way too easily. Was it not because it was too old? The old man cries as he bought that brand new exactly 1 week ago. He knew it from the moment he said he wanted to learn hunting for no reason. He is a noble, so why does he insist on becoming such a lowly profession? He could have learned swordsmanship instead. Johann tells him that swordsmanship doesn't make money until one gets hired. But whatever, they should move somewhere else. Deep in his thoughts, Johann thinks that he needs money to survive in such a rotten and depressive world. His full name is Johann Eitz, birth name Kim Johann. After dying in a tragic accident, he reincarnated in this world. Being reborn as a noble wasn't such a bad thing. However, right now, he's dead last when it comes to the family hierarchy. He will probably not inherit the name nor the wealth. If he's lucky, he won't get stripped naked and thrown out during his siblings' power struggles. Suddenly, the old man tells him to stop, as he just saw a pack of wolves, which he makes flee with one placed arrow. Unfortunately, the world he reincarnated into is a very realistic medieval era. He sees the corpse the wolves were nibbling on, thinking that this is a cruel death, to not be allowed death's rest. He wonders if it's someone from their village, and the old man cannot say, although one thing is certain, the weak are nothing but prey to the strong. Johann suspected this. To avoid becoming prey in this age, he desperately needs money. When he first arrived in this world, he hoped he would awaken with some type of amazing cheat ability. But eventually, he understood that it doesn't exist here, so he changed his goal, and that goal is money. If he has money, he can leave this territory and do whatever. He could become a merchant, or even a free farmer. Money is all that he wants. It's everything, no matter what. He will scrape off every coin. The old man finds something interesting. The medicinal herb they talked about earlier, the little devil grass, is a rare herb, excellent for stopping bleeding and boosting alertness. Before he can finish his explanation, Johann yanks it out of the tree, noting that it must be expensive, and puts it in his bag. The old man notices a pouch next to him and asks if he dropped it, but Johann says it is not his. Someone else must have dropped it. The old man thinks that's not possible. Nobody comes this deep in the forest except them. That's when he realizes, and a scream breaks out, someone pleading for anyone to help. They both rush to the scream and find a little girl climbing up in a tree, and below, a whole pack of hungry wolves. The old man recognizes that kid as Robert's daughter, Dell. Why is she so deep in the forest? The hungry wolves turn to them, and the old man thinks that there are way too many. They cannot handle this alone, so they should fall back and call someone else. Instead, Johann just sprints forward, the old man telling him that it's far too dangerous. Those are not ordinary wolves. They are accustomed to the taste of human flesh. Johann tells him it's fine. He will draw their attention while he rescues Dell. The old man can't believe this. Is he offering himself as bait just to save a mere commoner? It does seem that way. But he's actually doing this because he hit a jackpot. There are at least 10 wolves here. If he sells their pelts, he will make a fortune. He rushes in, screaming out heroically, but his swordsmanship is anything but heroic. The wolves charge in, one of them catching his blade, and clenching so hard that it shatters. The other one goes for his nape and manages to bite him roughly, the old man screaming out for him. At the same time, within the Eitz territory, the Baltroden village, the Eitz family's territorial inspection procession is passing through. The villagers are poor and dirty, malnourished, showing the inability of those who were supposed to rule them. The concubine, Madame Eitz, covers her nose. The first son, Philip Eitz, looks at the people, clearly saddened by their state. Finally, the lord of this territory, Gazen Eitz, is drunk as always, and notes that it stinks. This countryside really is cursed. Philip approaches his father and notes that Johann is nowhere to be seen. He can't believe he dares to be absent during the inspection. Shall he send soldiers to find him? Gessen tells him to forget it. Why waste time searching for a dimwit? If he dies somewhere like his wretched mother, what concern is he? Suddenly he spots a pile of straw stacked at the village entrance and asks why it's there. The villagers apologize. Behind it are traces of Johann's training. They covered them, as they looked unsightly. Since he is curious, Gazen takes a peek, but his eyes widen at what he sees. An entire field of trees punched into bits and pieces. The wolf that bit down on Johann is confused. He didn't actually bite his nape, but his hand and his fangs cannot get through. Johann expected this. Fighting with a sword really is not his style. He sends the wolf flying and notes that he will fight in his own way. This is survival of the fittest. To avoid becoming prey in this harsh era, he needs money. And to earn that money, what he needs most is strength. Strength overwhelming enough to transcend the limits of a human. The old man is shocked by what he is seeing. Johann is sending the wolves flying and even ripping them apart with only his hands. He has never seen such strength, not even in the mightiest knights. When he first got here, he had no choice but to accept it. Life in this world was not easy. His brothers that were of a higher rank than him beat him constantly, showing off their status as they insulted him. Naturally, he began to understand just how merciless this world truly was. Even if he gets beaten to death like this, in the end, nobody will really care about it. The only person he could rely on was himself, and that's when he thought, what does he need to survive in a medieval world? Fortunately, he had one advantage over the people of this era: his past life as a modern student who studied endlessly for jobs and countless exams under his belt. Because of that, his brain held knowledge that medieval people could not even imagine. He decided to use that knowledge. He used exercise science and high-intensity training, crafted a perfectly balanced diet, and also made a training regimen based on modern exercise and practiced close combat martial arts. With this, his endless training accumulated, and after several years, he was strong enough to level a tree. With each training session, his body displayed even more strength. Whether this strength was a blessing or a new trial, nobody knew as time passed. Johann finishes off the last of the wolves, and the old man picks up Dell, who calls him Uncle Joseph. He turns to Johann and notes that he was incredibly reckless. That was extremely dangerous. Even so, to think that he would step in front of flesh-hungry beasts without hesitation for the sake of a mere serf. He was moved by this action, and he expresses thanks on behalf of all the villagers. Seeing Johann celebrate his plunder like a pirate, though, he retracts his statement. Johann eventually turns to Dell and asks if she's all right, and she thanks him for saving him. But before she can say more, her heart freezes, as she's the only one who sees what is behind them. They both turn around to find a gigantic, fiendish wolf standing over them. Joseph believes that a monster exists and tells Johann that they have to go. A beast of that nature requires an army to defeat. Johann thought this world was just a normal, run-of-the-mill medieval world, but there were monsters here. He guesses this is their leader. He apologizes for killing all his underlings. Wolf pelts sell at a high price, so he hopes he understands. The beast growls at him, and Johann can sense it. This thing is seeing him as prey. However, that doesn't matter to him. He dodges out of his bite and picks up a hard rock, throwing it directly at the eye of the beast, giving it a scar right on its right eye. Johann didn't want to actually scratch its hide. The price will drop. Becoming increasingly annoyed, the beast lets out a blood-freezing howl. They all cover their ears, but even Johann suddenly loses his strength and falls into unconsciousness. After a bit, he sees something, a burning field, and two warriors fighting, with one of them being decapitated. Suddenly he wakes up from this bad dream, but he doesn't remember what happened. What happened to that beast? Has it truly left? He sees that Joseph and the girl are safe too. He can't say for certain what actually happened, but monsters could appear again, so he'd better leave with this too. He wanted those wolf pelts, but it's best if he leaves. He walks through the forest under the full moon. He gets to the village and sees that it's still bright. Maybe they are searching for Dell. Even if he didn't mean to, he did save her. So maybe he gets some points from his father? Perhaps he will name him his successor after all? Yeah, no way would happen. But at least he should get appointed to the guards. He wouldn't have to worry about food anymore then. Suddenly he sees a torch and a bunch of people in front of him, with Philip in the front. He demands to know where he has been. How dare he disappear on the day of their father's inspection? Johann completely forgot that it was today, and his father calls him an insolent brat as he descends his horse with difficulty. Johann tried to apologize, but his father told him to shut up. How dare he ignore him? He will crack open those insolent skulls of his for this disrespect. Johann damns it all. He barely made it back alive, and now he has to listen to this crap? But perhaps he can make an opportunity out of this. He begins to use his technique, the ultra ass kissing. He was not absent from the inspection on purpose. He was late because he was saving people from the forest. Dell's father rushes out of the crowd to hug his daughter. He had been searching for her everywhere, and he's really glad that she's all right. Johann asks them to listen. Dell was surrounded by a dozen human-eating wolves in the forest. He fought to save the child, and he defeated the wolves. He was unable to participate in the inspection, but he believes he's done his duty as a son of this household. If he could forgive him just this one, he would continue to do his best, for the safety of the estate, and perhaps give him a guard position too. Johann thinks that was perfect. He would have hired himself right there. His father can't help but laugh. If he really defeated a dozen wolves, where are they? Did he expect him to believe what he says without proof? Johann is kind of annoyed and says he's not lying. He even met a great dark wolf. His father tells him to shut it. How dare he live in front of him? He will rip out his tongue. Johann asks if he wants a duel or something. He can prove his skills. Even though he doesn't like the bastard, he's still his father. He did not want to fight him for no reason, but he has no choice. His father agrees. If he's skilled as he says, he should raise his sword. They will duel with nothing but a weapon. Johann is confused, as this bastard never taught him how to wield a blade. Johann unsheathes his sword, but he forgot that he had broken it. His father sighs and tells Philip to lend his. As he does, Philip tells Johann that it is not too late to ask for forgiveness. That is the only way he can make it out of here alive. Johann believes that he did nothing wrong, and most importantly, a man doesn't just run away. He hopes his father will learn from this duel. He thinks this is for the best. If he shows the people how skilled he is, even he will acknowledge him. He charges in, his father shocked at the monstrous aura he's emanating, and he blocks. Due to the difference in quality, the blade shatters against the axe, sending tons of shrapnel towards both of them, and making Gason kneel. Due to this, he charges in, thinking that this is a straight insult. Does he know why he didn't teach him how to wield a blade? It's because he would still be a useless piece of crap. No matter how hard he tries, he will never surpass him. This estate is his, and his alone. Nobody will take it from him. Not even the Emperor. Johann wonders what is going on. Has this bastard lost his mind from the alcohol? But that's not important now. He can't see well because of the blood. Philip screams out for his brother, as Gason goes directly for his forehead. Johann managed to block it with the broken sword, but even that breaks. He has officially lost. Gason tells him to know his damn place. If he ever sees his ugly mug again, he will bash his head in. With that, he leaves. The villagers going up to Johann to see if he is okay. Later, inside the chapel, Father Valberg screams out, as that was totally unfair. Johann tells them to keep quiet as someone might hear them, but he doesn't care. He's from the Vatican, so he doesn't care. A knight should have honor. How could he treat his son in such a way? Johann says that he's fine. At least he's alive. Valberg continues to scream out, as that bastard was in a full set of armor. Johann laughs, and then looks down, sighing. That's just how reality is. He never learned how to use a sword, but he didn't know he was so powerless. Valberg tells him that Gason has been in many battles. He inherited the techniques of the family, and he has experience. He never stood a chance. He heard Brits in the estate next over illed 300 serfs on his own, which Johann thinks is amazing. Technology really is important, he thought. He could easily defeat his drunkard of a father since he fought a huge black wolf. Valberg asks if that really is true. Did he truly see a black wolf? Johann, confused, says that he did. Joseph and Dell can confirm that fact. What's wrong though? What's so important about that wolf? Valberg takes out a book and explains that ever since long ago, black wolves have been seen as taboo. The priests have come to call them omens of death. According to century-old stories, black wolves come bearing only death and blood. Johann doesn't believe in stuff like that, but maybe the black wolf was a premonition of the duel that just happened. Valberg guesses so, but he shouldn't worry. The stories about black wolves are just that, stories. Perhaps God is guiding him, since he is a pure person who puts others above himself. Johann wonders, is that really who he is? Meanwhile, near the Eights estate, the Brits' barony, there is fire and brimstone. People are screaming out as they are slaughtered, but their attackers provide no mercy. The soldiers wonder why they try to run away. They are going to die anyway. Anyway, this is rather cruel, killing everyone in the estate and burning their bodies. Most soldiers don't care though. They just do their work and get paid. Somewhere in the estate, a woman kneels to Sir Karamav, reporting that the mercenaries have finished cleaning up, and they have found the seal ring of the Brits family. Karamav grips it, and notes that he had high expectations for Brits. He heard he took down 300 serfs on his own, but he barely lasted 2 attacks, and he wasn't even useful as a toy. He, Karamav, the sword of the Holy Empire, the proxy of his Imperial Majesty, and the recollector of the seals, decrees that he will punish all the corrupt nobles, as is the wish of his Imperial Majesty. All who are with the Emperor will be bathed in gold and honor. They will kill, steal, and burn them all, and their next target is the Eights estate. As he sleeps, Johann sees the same scene that he did with the Black Wolf. Someone is fighting a mighty warrior, but try as he might, he has no chance against him. His blade is much weaker, and the mighty warrior cuts through it, proceeding to take the head of the weaker now. As the head rolls on the cold ground, Johann sees who the weak warrior was. It was him all along. He wakes up in a cold sweat. In his room, it was all a dream after all, but something doesn't sit right with him. Ever since he saw that black wolf, he's been having the same nightmare for days on end. He also remembers what Valberg told him of the black wolf, it being a bad omen, who brings only death. Surely though, that's just some stupid superstition. The priest said it's just a tale from a legend. It's not like he ever did anything bad or anything to the black wolf, right? That's when he remembers that he hurled a rock in his eye, making him sweat even more. But whatever happens, happens. He shouldn't just ruminate like this and go train. As the sun rises in the beautiful valley, Johann continues his training, but he is interrupted by the second and third ranked sons. It seems he already forgotten what his father told him. If he doesn't want to die, he should hide away. Even after they beat him senseless, he crawls out again, barking like a dog who can't do anything. He's acting tough, like breaking a log is impressive, but that's just a lowly trick, as a lowborn like him couldn't possess any real strength. As he hears this, Yofan smiles and rips apart the tree he was beating, making the two shocked. He looks back and asks if they said anything. They should come closer and repeat it. They run off, promising to tell father everything, and Johan wonders how they can live with so little thought. They ought to prepare to make a living. Whatever, he shouldn't worry about them and go back to training. Suddenly Philip arrives. Noting that it's true their father has no intention of appointing him to any position. Johan figured as much. He still didn't kill him, so it could be worse. Philip thought he would be disappointed, but Johan doesn't really care. He will find another way to make a living. Philip tells it how it is. Their father fears him. He is undeniably strong, very strong, and that strength is a threat to him. He wants obedient children like him, but he is different. He insists on living by his own principles. He believes that one day, his strength will take everything away from him, just as he overthrew his grandfather. Johan thinks that's nonsense, and Philip tells his serf to bring that here. The serf takes out a set of gear, a plain surcoat and a longsword, along with a spare set of chestplate. Philip knows he set his eyes on them for a long time. He is not like their father. He is not foolish enough to discard a person who is capable. That is why when he becomes lord in the future, he will appoint him as the captain of the guard. Until then, he should not neglect his training and stop causing trouble. Johan tells him he's never the one who causes trouble first, but Philip just flips him off. Johan looks at the armor. It's the one from his dream. If he wears this, will he die in the same way? However, for some reason, he feels he can overcome it, though he has no proof. Whatever the case, he will need equipment if he wants to win. Later that day, inside the tavern, people share stories about Johan, how he killed 50 wolves, how he's righteous and pure, the model of a true knight. They do believe he's more knightly than that fatty Gezin, with a stranger listening intently to all of this. One of them tells him to drink as much as he can muster today, as drinks are on him. He's giving out drinks because Johan saved his daughter, like the righteous person that he is. The villagers ask who he is. They haven't seen him around. The person laughs. They were insulting their lord in front of a stranger, and it seems that they are not afraid of anything. He finds their story interesting, however, so he wants to know more about this Johan of theirs. He skips happily through the town. Philip will appoint him guard captain after all. He's on the Golden Road. Suddenly he sees someone who is clearly drunk, and as a future captain, he cannot ignore a citizen. He closes in and notes that he will escort him home, as he will definitely catch a cold if he stays here. Suddenly, he feels something cold closing in, and a sharp blade is held against his neck, taking him by surprise. Johan wonders who he is. An assassin sent by Gezin? If it were that, though, he would come to the end of it himself. Who is this madman? Philip wouldn't do this, right? He cannot even guess who he is. Johan asks what he wants. Is it money? He will give him money. The assassin notes that he has more than enough of that. He just wants to ask him a question, and if the answer is not wise, then he will end his life right here. Johan is shocked at first, but he gets a grip eventually. He made it to round 2 of an interview with a major corporation once, but he has to answer perfectly to survive. The man begins, noting that he has a good body. It's hard to believe he's the son of that pig. Is he truly Gezin's son? Johan wonders just what kind of question this is, but he doesn't make the rules here, so he answers like he would in an interview. Sometimes, a lion can be born from a pig's bloodline. The assassin stays silent, making Johan think that this is the end, but suddenly he laughs. That answer is quite to his liking, it seems, and since it's to his liking, that means that he is now his. Johan's eyes widen, as what does that even mean? This assassin is Kegel. He is the Empire's greatest assassin and the Nesso's guild poison master. He perfected his swordsmanship through countless assassinations, and because his movements were akin to a serpent, he later became known as the Venomous Serpent. However, even though someone like that had problems, he could not find a successor to inherit his swordsmanship. He searched everywhere, but only worthless insects who could never succeed him were all that he found. Some showed potential, but they refused to learn from an assassin, so he ended their lives. More than 30 heirs of knightly families died at his hand, all choosing death in the name of honor. Growing impatient, Kegel sought the Witch of the Empire, who told him that the disciple he seeks resides in Eight's Castle, a small, forgotten rural territory. He is one of the sons of that drunkard lord. Kegel didn't believe her at first. A gold coin could buy half of the land there. The witch told him to take his coin back if he did not like the answer, but he didn't want to incur the wrath of a witch, so he believed her. He wasted way too many years searching, and had no time left. But even as he set foot into the estate, doubt clung to him. He wondered if his successor would really be in a place like this. If he didn't like him, he would kill him on the spot. He introduces himself to Johan and tells him to choose, die here or learn his swordsmanship. These are the only two options. Johan simply asks how much he needs to pay to learn such a thing. But just as seriously, Kegel says he doesn't take money. Johann knows this only means one thing. This is all free. This is a once-in-a-lifetime jackpot. He immediately calls him master, and notes he's been waiting his entire life for someone like him. Kegel, still serious, tells him this is the swordsmanship of an assassin. Simply learning it will brand him as a disgrace, the same as any family. Johann doesn't care in the slightest. He just wants to be taught. Kegel accepts, thinking that this is a first, and Johann also notes that he mentioned he has coins. So if he learns well, could he get an allowance? Kegel doesn't know how to answer that. This brat really is something else. At the castle, Gayson leaves, since the inspection is done. Both the concubine and Philip say they will take care of the castle, causing them to bicker. The concubine notes that no matter how much he struggles, the castle will be hers, and Philip tells her he will be the next lord. Gayson is sick of them arguing all day, and tells them to do anything at this point. He doesn't care. Philip notes that Johann has not returned. What should they do? Immediately, Gayson screams, telling him not to waste time on him. The death of a weakling is of no concern to him. Philip understands and apologizes, but thinks about Johann and wonders what he is doing. At the same time, near the forest, Kegel wants to see how skilled he is. Johann asks to borrow a sword, as he breaks them often, and Kegel hands him one. This answer makes him think that Johann is reckless. There isn't a single thing he likes about him. Maybe he should kill him now. They get ready to fight, but seeing his stance, Kegel wonders if he really is from a knightly family. He has to kill this one too. Johann asks if he has to use swordsmanship, but Kegel says to use whatever he likes. Fists or rocks. It doesn't matter. With that, Johann raises his fist in the air and smashes his blade, making it shatter. In that moment, Kegel realized that all of his doubts were unfounded. This brat in front of him was a beast. He can't believe the air pressure he exudes just from a mere punch. If that were to hit him, all his bones and muscles would be crushed. He is not fighting a human anymore, but a beastly lion. However, a lion has nothing on the agility of a snake. Johann can't figure out where his blade is going because of his technique, and gets hit squarely in the face with the hilt of the blade. Kegel expected at least for him to pass out, but this is ridiculous. Had he been born 1,000 years earlier, he would have been revered as a legendary hero. Johann thanks his master, but he is not done yet, as he has a critical weakness. If he keeps going like this, eventually, he will die. Johann sits up and asks what he means, so Kegel tells him. It's obvious he cannot control the strength he possesses, and that will eventually kill him. Johann doesn't believe it. It's not like he's attacking himself. In response, Kegel pulls out another blade and tells him to charge in again if he is so confident. If he manages to break his sword, then he will give him gold. Hearing this, Johann immediately rushes in, clashing blades with Kegel, but his blade immediately shatters into small pieces. This is just like when he was fighting his father. Kegel hopes he understands now. He just lost to his own strength. He will have to learn to control that power. Otherwise, sooner rather than later, he will die. Johann asks if he purposely shot this fragment in his chest, and Kegel confirms as such. It's easy once he's proficient with the sword. Johann understands it now. He needs to learn to control, and he will do so to avoid death, since he is the future guard captain of 8s after all. Kegel notes that if he learns how to restrain his power, even something like this is possible. Using his sheathed blade, he manages to cut right through Johann's armor. This is something even he can do once he learns to control his strength. When he can do that, he cannot even imagine just how powerful he will become. But that's enough rambling. They should get to training. He warns him down. It will be difficult, and he might lose his life. Is he still ready? Johann immediately agrees, not wanting to let go of this jackpot. Night turns to morning, and Johann has finished training. Although his face is filled with bruises, he thinks he's learning to hold back, but it is hard, at least for now. He learned not to break his sword, but when will he get to learn swordsmanship? Suddenly he sees a bunch of elves at the gate, and asks who they are, and why they are standing there. One of them tells him that this area is restricted for other people, and he should shoo before they get mad. Johann demands to know who he is to give him orders, so the elf introduces them as the affiliated mercenaries of the Imperial Majesty, the Wolves of Aquitaine. Johann wants a job like theirs too, and asks how the pay is. Some ask if he wants to be one, and others tell him that they get much more than a guard captain, up to 2 gold coins per job. They open up to him and begin chatting it up. Johann has never seen a gold coin in his life. It really is better than being a guard captain after all. Maybe he should change his career path. Suddenly, Karamov approaches from behind, and immediately, Johann goes to unsheath his blade, but he is swarmed with blades at the same time. Karamov's assistant asks how he dares to unsheath his sword in front of their captain. He will be beheaded now. Karamov says it's fine and asks to know who he is. Johann sheepishly introduces himself, and Karamov takes off his helmet, revealing that he is a rather handsome man. Johann is confused by himself. He put his hand on his blade without even thinking. He never felt like this, even when he saw the Black Wolf, or when he was almost killed by his father. The murderous intent of this man is suffocating. It's as if he's mere prey. Karamov tells him to move, as he is in their way. Johann does so immediately, and the mercenaries slap his back, noting that he's too scared. He should be more careful next time, although there won't be a next time. The knight in training, Jane, asks Karamov if it's okay to leave him there. He doesn't want to cause havoc on such a good day. Not yet, at least. Johann has finally started to question what is happening. Why is a knight of the Emperor in a rural place like this? Philip is shocked at the news of Sir Karamov's arrival. Why would such an esteemed figure come to a place like this? He immediately greets him as he enters, introducing himself. But the concubine is already next to him, trying to make sure that he knows her son is actually the heir, and not the one in front of them. She also tries to seduce him, but he doesn't even pay her any mind. He takes his helmet off as he sits in Gazen's throne, and demands to know where he is. Philip tries to tell him that no matter how great his reputation, addressing him like that is improper. The concubine thinks otherwise. He is the Empire's greatest knight, and there is nothing wrong he could do, especially by calling Gazen like that. Philip can't believe how cunning this woman is. She's trying to seize an opportunity to push her spawn as the next lord. Suddenly, Karamov demands they remain silent and get lost. The servants will bring him the finest alcohol they have, and until Gazen arrives, he will wait inside this castle. Johann continues his training, but his mind lingers on Karamov, and Kegel screams at him to focus, as he's just thrown a bunch of knives. He has time to deflect them, but one almost goes into his neck. If the daggers he threw at him were laced with poison, he would have died. Why is he not concentrating? Johann explains that recently, knights claiming to be the Emperor's personal knights came to the village, and something feels off. This is the Eights family territory. No matter who they are, even Imperial knights shouldn't be able to shut the gates and control entry like that. Kegel asks why he even cares in the first place. Karamov is the Emperor's direct knight. He is the strongest warrior on the continent, the core power of the Holy Empire, and even the armor he wears is something legendary. Johann asks if he is stronger than he is, and Kegel notes that if he ever had to face him, he would just turn around and run without hesitation. Johann tries to say that the results of a fight can be known only after fighting, but Kegel tells him to shut up and know his place in this world. Right now, he cannot even control his own strength. He's just a dim-witted brat that doesn't know how to wield a sword. Johann grips his blade tighter, noting that he will do it, making Kegel sigh and then tell him to charge. With that, the training continues, Kegel screaming at him to do it again every time he fails. Johann wonders why it's not working. It's not even a real sword, just a scabbard. But why can he not cut it? Maybe it's the flow of strength. He shouldn't just swing blindly. He should transfer the flow of strength and concentrate it at the sword's tip. As he continued to swing, Johann began to understand what it means to control his strength. Kegel realized this too. His sword was becoming sharper and faster. Johann finally got it. If he tempers everything he learned so far with the proper amount of strength, then he can cut, just like his master does. Sure enough, he cuts through the scabbard and the blade, making him extremely happy. He celebrates and notes that it wasn't that hard, making Kegel think that it must have been luck, so he tells him to come again. This time, he will not hold back either. Unfortunately, it wasn't just a fluke, and he fell on his back against Johann's attack. He has never seen something like this. Just what is this brat? He clearly taught him nothing but how to control his strength, yet he can freely use the secret sword technique, Serpent Tongue. He perfectly absorbed it after just briefly encountering it. He's even using it more perfectly than he. The experience of this old assassin told him this. Unless a miracle happens, Johann is already someone he cannot defeat. The strongest assassination guild of the Empire was put to shame by this absurd brat. He explains to Johann that his teachings end here. He will be leaving at sunrise. Johann notes that he only just got the hang of using a sword. He's just ending it like this. Kegel tells him he already has everything he needs. As much as he hates to admit, he's become stronger than even him. He's satisfied as long as his swordsmanship does not vanish and continues. Now he should go and live his life how he sees fit. He's worked hard until now, so congratulations are in order. As they sit at a campfire, Johann asks if he's really leaving, which Kegel confirms. He was never one to stay too long in a place. Johann asks if it's because he's an assassin, but it's more of a personal trait than anything. Johann also asks if he knows anything about ominous signs, and Kegel asks if he means the Black Wolf, which he does. He only recently encountered one, and afterwards, he dreamt that his head was cut off, so when he first came for his head, he thought he was the omen. Kegel notes that if he had killed him, then that would have been an ominous sign. Ill fates do not arrive in fixed shape, so before he leaves, he will give him some advice. First, he should find a weapon suited for his strength. He will need at least Dana's steel to withstand his power. That is a metal imbued with magic, existing only as a legendary relic. Its method of creation has been long lost, and it can only be mined from ancient ruins. Because of that, weapons made from Danas are extremely rare. Only a few exist in the entire world. Johann notes it must be expensive, and Kegel confirms as such. If he were to save his entire life, he couldn't afford it. Johann asks why he recommended it, but Kegel just wanted to tell him to find a good weapon. Johann asks if he's hiding his true intentions because he's an assassin, and Kegel denies it. Why bring up the profession in everything? Even its color is unusual for Danish steel. If he ever sees someone wearing that, even from far away, he should just run. If he doesn't know his limits, he will not live long. Johann will keep that in mind. But is he leaving now? Before doing so, Kegel leaves Johann with one last piece of advice, which he should etch in his very soul. He should not fight opponents he cannot beat. If it's dangerous, he will run. If he must fight, he will use any means to kill the enemy without fail. If he follows this, he is unlikely to die, and he shouldn't, as now, his legacy rests upon his shoulders. Johann does think on those words and memorizes them perfectly. He will follow them for as long as he lives. At the same moment, in the Eit's castle, the concubine asks how the wine tastes. Karamov notes it tastes like piss, and throws it into a nearby wall. The concubine notes it was quite an expensive drink. It's a shame. The only alcohol better than this is in Gazen's bedroom, so how about they both go there? As she tries to seduce him, Karamov tells her to get lost, causing her to say that they don't have much time, as Gazen will arrive tonight. Karamov is very glad to hear that. He was sick of this. Now, he gets to enjoy himself. He begins to strangle the soul out of her. All the while, Philip is behind the door, watching as this unfolds. After Johann leaves the forest, he sees the entire village on fire, the bellows of a massacre ringing in his ears. Gazen sees the smoke coming from the estate too. One of his men advises him to retreat at once, but he refuses and runs right up to his keep. The mercenaries berate him, calling him a pig for taking so long. He's lucky Karamov was patient. After opening the doors, he sees the massacre that took place. The villagers he was supposed to rule now dead. Karama arrives and notes that he's rather late. He missed the main party. Gazen demands to know what he is doing right now as he picks up his axe. What does he think he is doing here? Karamov tells him that he is found guilty of the attempted assassination of the emperor and high treason. By his decree, House Eitz will be eradicated. Gazen tells it how it is. This is a fucking purge. He's pugning false charges on him to have a reason to kill him. He will not let him do as he pleases. Karamov slowly unsheathes his blade and tells his men to blow the horn, to retrieve the seal of the Eitz family, and purge everyone in this territory. They will erase this land from the map, all in the name of the emperor. At the now burned-down church, one of the mercenaries calls Valberg a stupid bastard. Is it truly that hard to tell him where the bastard's son is hiding? Well, since he's a priest, he will send him to the god he adores so much. Before he can swing, Johann comes from behind and annihilates him in a second. As he unties Valberg, he asks what happened, and Valberg doesn't know either. The Imperial troops are killing villagers on sight. It's possible that even Gazen has already been killed. That is not all, however. They are burning the entire village to wipe out any semblance of people. Johann thinks he has to hurry back to the castle, but suddenly he hears a crying voice, and he knows whose it is. It's Dell. He's glad to see her safe, but that's when he sees what she was crying about. Johann's eyes begin to widen as he takes in what happened. All the villagers he knew, the ones who were kind and smiling, even though their lives never amounted to much. Hatred begins to form in his heart, and he tells Dell to go to Valberg, as he will protect her. As he leaves, Valberg tells him that he must not go toward the castle. He has to flee. He might be the last of his family. Johann pays him no mind, and soon finds the head of his father on a spike. Under that a plaque. Duke Gazen Eitz has been executed for treason against the emperor. Anyone who retrieves his corpse without permission will be punished. The mercenaries eventually find him. They thought he ran off, but maybe he came back to die. In response, Johann cuts the flag his father was beheaded on and crushes it under his boot. Seeing this, the mercenaries get mad and charge at him, but they cannot hope to match his hatred. He cuts them all, one by one, showing no remorse for his actions. He wonders why he is doing this. Why is he going back? Valberg was right. He should have run away. If he goes back, he will die for no reason. Suddenly, he finds Philip, who is glad to see him alive. He tells him to go and run away. Why did he come here in the first place? To watch them die. He wanted to give him this headpiece, for when he was to the guard captain. As he retrieves the headpiece, Johann remembers Kegel's words, to run away if the opponent is too dangerous. This time, it's an emperor's knight. Even the master told him to run. But he also told him that if he has to fight, he also has to kill. It seems that time is now. He will not let their crimes go unpunished. He opens the doors to the castle, and before the mercenaries can even discern how he got here, he punches them all away, demanding that Karamov come out this instant. He is no longer afraid. Rage has overtaken all of his other emotions. Karamov is surprised he survived for so long. He's that bastard son, isn't he? Johann is not in the mood to chat. He should just think of him as one pissed-off individual. Karamov notes he should have run. He would have been able to live, but he probably doesn't care about that anymore. Well, If he wishes to die, then he will indulge him. With that, Johann charges in. They exchange blow after blow, but eventually Karamov cuts through Johann's sword, who immediately retreats and picks up a new one. Karamov thinks this is fun. They continue this cycle a few times. Johann's blades getting cut again and again, but Karamov can't seem to land a hit on him. He is quite an interesting person. He's far more than Brits ever would be. As Johann throws a dead mercenary at him and he cuts it, Karamov thinks this is enjoyable. He wants even more of this. Johann indulges him and tempers his strength enough to actually cut through his armor, causing Karamov to recoil back. Did this bastard just cut through his Donna's steel armor? His arms begin to shake as Johann picks up another blade. This is impossible. Humans are incapable of harming this steel. Johann charges in again. This time he is on the offensive. Karamov has never seen such strength, but it is just that, strength. He only swings widely without finesse, so he thrusts in, making Johann lose another blade. As he suspected, he cannot even block a simple thrust properly. He's swinging purely by instinct, without technique. Did Gessen never teach him swordsmanship? Still, he is dangerous, and must be finished off now. If he uses that wide slash again, he will deflect it before cutting off his head. Instead of doing that though, Johann unleashes the serpent technique, moving with such swiftness that Karamov cannot hope to react, and he gets cut up. In this vulnerable position, Johann is also able to punch straight through his invincible armor, causing Karamov to gush out blood. He falls on one knee, barely able to hold on. He recognizes this as Kegel's technique. This bastard was hiding his true skill all along. He let his guard down, damn it. He continues coughing blood, the wound proving to be almost fatal. Johann, knowing he won, drops his helmet and asks why he did this. Karamov explains that this was for his Imperial Majesty. The Holy Empire is now more unstable than ever before. His Majesty has unsheathed the Imperial sword to correct it, the sword known as Mavkara. As he coughs again, he begins to laugh, as he is moved. For decades he has crossed countless knights, but never has he encountered someone as strong as he. He should come with him to the Empire. His Majesty is in need of talent now. The endless gold he will be washed in will grant him glory. He will receive land, and His Majesty will appoint him as an Imperial Knight. He should become the Imperial Sword, the greatest honor there is. Johann remains silent. He dreamed of endless gold, but it's strange. Now, for some reason, he feels nothing, so he refuses. He should go fuck himself with all that gold. Not only did he kill his family, but also innocent villagers, people who have done nothing wrong. Karamov can't believe it. He's rejecting his offer over some damn villagers? Who the hell cares about their deaths? What was his mother also a lowborn? They are all insects, weak vermin that could not defend themselves. It's the strong that drink the blood of the weak. That is the rule of this world. Johann apologizes to his master, as it seems he cannot control his strength after all. He whacks Karamov across the head, before beginning to pummel him again and again. This is for the Emperor? The villagers' lives are worthless. What makes him so great? What gives him the right to judge who lives and dies? After minutes of pummeling, Johann's fists reddened with blood. He walks away. Karamov calls him a fool. He should have taken his offer, but now it's too late. The one who broke the Emperor's sword will know only suffering from this point on. Johann looks at him, and with that, Karamov stops breathing. This world accepts death so naturally. To survive, all he ever thought about was money. However, they slaughtered everyone in their territory, his family and neighbors, all butchered. Even if the whole world becomes his enemy, he did what had to be done. He will never regret what he did, no matter what anyone says. This is his will. This is how he will live. The knight in training, Jane, arrives at the scene and asks one more time, "Is what they said really the truth?" The mercenary who survived says that, without an ounce of falsehood, it is the truth. She must believe him. Suddenly he barged in, beat up all the soldiers, and then took Karamov's head with just his fists. That was the last they saw of Karamov. Jane doesn't understand. If that is the truth, then shouldn't Karamov's corpse be here? How does he expect her to believe such nonsense in the first place? The mercenary doesn't understand either. However, he did see it. One of the healthier mercenaries tells her that the pursuit party is ready, so she relents and says she will be there shortly. After going out, she goes to the gathered troops and gives out one order: to hunt their attacker down and kill him. To kill Johann Eitz. He is a filthy traitor to his own bloodline, and the one suspected of murdering their Sir Karamov. They will hunt him down and bring him back to her no matter what. Johann continues fighting through mercenaries as he carries Karamov's body. Even with this limitation, he is still efficient with the blade. Jane continues. It is believed that he can tear through Danis's steel with ease. They should never face him on his own, and think of it as hunting a dragon. They will seal off every road around the territory, and drive him relentlessly, until he is exhausted. They must bring his head to the Majesty, no matter what. Before passing, Philip told Johann that about 500 paces northwest of the hunting grounds, he would find a stable, and there a warhorse he could flee on. Johann eventually arrives at the stable Philip mentioned, and he's exhausted. He really thought that this was the end. He thought hiding Karamov's corpse would stir up confusion, but the pursuit party caught up much faster than he expected. Still, since his armor served as a makeshift shield, he should probably keep carrying it until he's completely shaken them off. He opens the stable, and sure enough, he finds Gessen's warhorse, the last gift of his brother. With this guy, he should be able to rest a bit on horseback at least. He should also give him a name, and he knows of the perfect one, and that is Philip. The mercenaries swiftly get to him, however, and since they saw something glowing, that thing probably being Dana's steel, they will search every inch of the area, as they are sure to find him. Suddenly, some of them begin to hear hooves, and sure enough, Johann dashes through them on horseback. The mercenaries try to shoot him, but the armor keeps him protected, and so, Johann rode his horse throughout the night, quickly losing the pursuing party and arriving deep within the Black Forest. He figures this should be deep enough, even though he was a twisted man. Not burying a person just doesn't sit right with him. In any case, his armor really does look quite expensive, and this blade too. It's light yet solid. This sword is made of Dana's steel too. He unsheathes it to reveal an ancient imperial script. It is the one who recovers crests, the crest recoverer. It's probably referring to the family crests, making it sound much more ominous. He will take the blade with him for now and bury the armor. It's a waste, but carrying it around won't help him in the slightest. He will definitely come back for it later. He finishes burying that, and he's clearly winded. He knows that once word of Karamov's death spreads, the entire empire will be after his head. The countless knights who followed him will try to avenge him. His words cut deep, but his life was already just suffering long before this. What should he do now, though? House 8 is finished, and he didn't manage to bring a single coin with him. His arms are still trembling, so he should rest for a bit now. Suddenly, he detects a presence behind him, and he turns around as the Black Wolf has arrived. Out of all times for it to show up, did it have to be now, when he's spent? In such a condition, he knows he stands no chance. He can barely hold his blade as is. He needs to get to the horse somehow. Suddenly, the mercenaries scream out that they found his horse, meaning that he has to be nearby. Johann can't believe it. How are these bastards here? They even detected him. What can he do now? There's a monster in front of him, and an army in the back. He has no room for escape. Does this mean that this is the end? The Black Wolf surprisingly jumps past him and shreds his pursuers to pieces, making Johann confused as he watches. Perhaps it did not see him? Well, that's not important right now. This created a path for him. This is his chance. Even if he can barely move, he will have to push through. He rushes towards his horse, and in one swift motion, mounts it and dashes away. He remembers his life up until now as he rides, the memories he made, the training that he did, and this land, his brother that he will never see again. Farewell, Eight's village. After the Black Wolf is done with the mercenaries, it watches him dash away, the purpose of its actions unknown. After traveling for a bit, Johann finds another checkpoint. The way out of this place is completely blocked. He's officially screwed. Even since he has escaped, he hasn't eaten, slept, or done anything properly. He didn't think he would be hounded by mercenaries for 3 days straight. He's lost count of how many times he almost died fending off those bastards. He's at his limit. He doesn't even have the strength to keep going. Is there really no way out? Is his fate to just be caught by these bastards and executed? Suddenly, he hears something behind. A trade wagon with armed escorts. A peddler caravan, perhaps. That's when he makes a plan to disguise himself as a peddler too. If he looks like a part of their group, he will avoid suspicion and get through that checkpoint with relative ease. The peddler is called Eldons, and he is of the Katana Trading Company. Suddenly, one of the guards, Kane, notes that they seem to have some heavily armed cavalry up ahead, and they don't seem the friendly type. That's why he suggests they prepare for battle. Another mercenary, Gamson, asks why the big fuss over a guy on a horse. If it comes down to it, they are 9 against 1. Goran tells him to look closely. He's fully clad in armor and riding a warhorse, unlike them. On top of that, he's wearing a plate helmet and breastplate. Kai has also spotted what the sword he's carrying is. That purplish sheen is definitely Dana's steel, no doubt about it. If he swings that thing down, their armor will be gone through like butter. They could get wiped out if they strike, but Gamson thinks that's a bit much. There are 9 people here. They should be fine. Goran tells him to get away, as he can't think properly with his stupidity interfering, and the others keep him steady. Eldons tells his men to get ready so they can attack the instant they see any suspicious movement from that guy. He will go ahead and check the situation out first. When he gives the signal, they will all attack at once. As he approaches the strange man, Kane tells his men that once the battle starts, they will knock him off his horse. After that, they will thrust their swords through his armor gaps. Eldon introduces himself to Johann, and notes that he would rather avoid unnecessary misunderstandings. Would he also give him his name? Johann didn't expect to see catfolk here. From what he can see, they are all pretty suspicious because of how he looks. He needs to make them lower their guard, first and foremost. He pulls up his helmet and introduces himself. He looks like this because he was attacked by bandits while traveling. They do not need to be wary of him. Also, could he tell the people behind him not to attack him? Eldon apologizes for being so rude. As a peddler, he always has to be prepared for any scenario, so he hopes he understands. Johann says that he does. That is why he could let him travel with his group, perhaps? As he can see, he lost all his travel funds. If he could provide him with a little food and a place to rest, he would guard his caravan. Eldon guesses he's strong enough, and doesn't seem the overly suspicious type. They should do that then. They are on their way to Marseille, by the way. Since it is a fairly long journey, he should get acquainted with the other mercenaries he hired. Johann thanks him and wonders where the place he mentioned even is. Goran asks Eldons what's going on, and Eldons tells him that this man is just a wanderer who will travel with them for a while. But they should keep an eye out, just in case, and if anything happens, they should not hesitate to strike. Johann thinks that he got travel partners. Now, he just needs to get past that checkpoint. As they arrive, the mercenaries immediately stop them. If they wish to pass through, they will cooperate properly for a brief inspection. Johann looks on, hoping that he can slip by without drawing attention. Eldon recognizes them, the wolves of Akiton. He's done business with them a few times. He introduces himself and wishes to speak with the one in charge. The mercenary who stopped him is shocked. Is this the man in charge of Katana Trading Company? The business that has its main office in Marseille? The commercial hub? The city of Marseille is a place even the emperor cannot touch without caution. He introduces himself candidly, and notes they are just following orders to search for a runaway trader. If he could please cooperate. Johann expected this, but he's still surprised that they put up checkpoints just for him. Suddenly, one of them approaches and tells him to take off the helmet right now. Johann makes up an excuse, noting that he has a bit of a condition on his face. The mercenaries laugh, wondering if his mother dropped him or something, but they would still like to see that mushed-up face. Or perhaps, is he hiding something? Johann looks at the mercenary. If it comes to this, then he might as well just fight. Suddenly, Eldon screams that this is far enough. Are they seriously suspecting the Katana Trading Company of such things? The mercenary tries to tell him that they are carrying out an imperial order, but he doesn't care. Didn't he tell them to go bring their commander officer already? If they interfere any further, he will have no choice but to file a direct complaint at their captain, at the Marseille branch personally. With this, they decide to let them go. The mercs noting that Johann got lucky. As they leave though, they stare at him specifically, perhaps already knowing who he is. As night falls, they decide to camp, Eldon taking care of business as the others make a fire. They also tell Johann that he can go ahead and sleep, since he has nothing in particular to do. Johann immediately lies down, his bones themselves tired from the journey. As he sleeps though, the wolves appear in a nearby bush. Their plan to surround them from the hill and strike all at once. In the real world, this staff sergeant, during battalion-level tactical training, successfully carried out defense in depth, defending against a large company-sized enemy force with only a handful of troops. He displayed outstanding tactical sense and became an example to his peers. Therefore, he was rewarded a commendation and 4 nights and 5 days of reward leave. He graciously accepted this reward. Maybe the army did suit him. Good thing he studied so much strategy. However, there's an outdated top-down culture, murderous duty shifts, and work conditions, like scorching hot or freezing cold. He could endure all of that, however, if it were not for the paycheck smaller than a flea. They will chain him down too, as one can enter the army easily, not so much when it comes to leaving. Johann wakes up. It was all a dream, it seems, of what he was doing in the army. He looks up at the night sky and suddenly catches one of the arrows that is flying on their camp. This is an attack. Those bastards are probably after him again. He thought he made it safely, but he has to warn the mercenaries first. He screams out that there's an enemy ambush, making all of them wake up at once. 5 minutes before the enemy alert, Gamson wondered why they were the only ones being worked to the bone. It's only fair to assign that cavalry to sentry duty too. Kai tells him to shut up. Is he telling him to trust some random guy they don't even know with guard duty? Has he not considered that once they fall asleep, that bastard could slit their throats? If he can't tell what actually matters and keep on being reckless, he won't be doing this kind of job for long, that's for sure. Gamson told him that he became a mercenary because he did not want to rot away in some backwater village, because he wanted to live like a real man. However, if he had known they were a bunch of idiots who can't do anything and freeze up against one armored guy, he wouldn't have joined in the first place. Kai asked if he really wanted to die at that moment, but before he could pull out his blade, they heard Johann's screams. Immediately, Kai puts Gamson down as he defends them with the shield, but the rain of arrows suddenly stops. Before he can tell Gamson to call the others, he runs out, crying like a little girl. The others find him, and they are glad to see him alive. They wonder where Gamson is, but Kai says it doesn't matter. Is Eldan safe? They confirm he is hiding under the wagon, but whatever, they should get ready to fight. Johann, upon seeing them, tells them to form a circular defensive line around the wagon. They don't know which direction the enemy will attack from, so they have to stick together. Kai asks who he is to give them orders. They will handle their own end, so he should worry about keeping himself alive. Johann can't believe them, and as they hand each other a shield, he demands one too, as he has fought a similar battle before. Eldon screams to not do that. They don't have enough shields for themselves, and he will have to survive on their own. Johann damns their pride, and suddenly, he sees who is charging in. Not the wolves of Akiton, but just some bandit guard. The mercenaries charge in, Johann wondering who's supposed to guard the wagon if they do that. The mercenaries, however, seem to be just as rabble-rousing as the bandits, who outnumber them 3-1, and eventually, they break through Goran's shield, threatening to end his life. Johann sees this and charges in, his dark blade cutting through the bandits like it's nothing. Johann can't believe this blade, and the fact that it's glowing too. The bandit leader knows what this is. It's absorbing blood, meaning that it's a demonic sword. A peddler escort with a demonic sword? There is no way they can beat up something like that. Johann, seeing an opportunity, introduces himself as Johann Yates of House Yates. Who are they to attack him? Even the mercenaries are surprised he's a noble, and Johann thinks it should be fine. He changed Yates to Yates, so nobody figures it out. The bandits are shocked. They haven't heard of his house, but it's certainly not any run-of-the-mill one, since he has a demonic sword. Johann asks one simple question. Will they surrender now, or will they meet their end by this accursed blade? Seeing that they have no real chance, the bandits all surrender. Johann hid his blade and told Goran to bind them all. He may cut down anyone who dares to resist. After doing that, Goran asks Eldon what they should do about this noble. He thought he was just a wanderer with a good heart. There's no way he would hold a grudge because they treated him poorly, right? Eldon tells him they let him join when he asked, which must count for some goodwill. He will also smooth things over, so they should stay quiet. Eldon approaches, noting that he must have had a rather rough night. He helped protect the caravan. He's not sure how to repay him. If he knew he was a noble, he would have lent him a damn shield. Johann asks what he's talking about, and is glad to see him safe. Eldon is shocked. Is he really not going to ask for compensation? Is this one of those good nobles he hears of in stories? Johann smiles and tells him to lend him a shield next time he asks. Eldon agrees. So next time he will give him a shield before anyone else receives one. Johann was also thinking of interrogating them. Could the mercenaries help? Eldon agrees, but now that his status has been revealed, it would put their mind at ease if he spoke more formally. The mercenaries push the leader of the bandits to Johann's feet and ask who he is and why he attacked them. The man explains that they are the private soldiers of House Brits, a house that has been wiped out. A few months ago, the House Brits was suddenly besieged on the charge that they supposedly plotted against the Emperor. Those bastards killed everyone. Men, women, children. They didn't care. The ones who attacked were the Wolf of Akiton. They resisted as much as they could, but once the noble executioner joined them, they had no choice but to run away. The mercenaries wonder who that is, but guess it's the Emperor's hunting dog, Karamov. The leader apologizes. He has committed a crime worthy of death. They never expected a noble would be traveling with a trading caravan. The Imperial army chased them, called them rebels, and the Northerners turned their backs on them, stating that they were being cowardly. Although he cannot justify this banditry, they had to do something. Johann asks them to answer truthfully. Did they attack for no other reason? The bandits deny it. The only reason they targeted this trading company caravan was because it's expensive. Eldon screams out that they are all bastards. Don't they know that delivery for trading companies is built on trust? Do they have any idea how much damage they suffer because of men like them? As the others calm down, Johann thinks of this treason against the Emperor. When he fought Karamov, he said it was all for the Emperor too. Now he's starting to get it. There was never any treason against the Emperor. He just needed some pretext to purge the nobles, an excuse to unleash his hound on them. That for the Emperor stuff was all crap. That bastard deserves the most horrible death. These guys are just in a situation similar to his. They are victims of power, of circumstance. With that said, they indeed became bandits, so he's not really sure what to do with them. Kai asks him too. If he gives the order, they can beat the life out of them to spill more. Johann denies that they have all the information they need. Suddenly, Gamson arrives and says that they should beat them to death, but Kai deflects his mace. They all surrendered to Johann. They do not have any right to punish them, especially not him, who abandoned his comrades and ran away. He agrees, and the bandit leader begs to spare his men. They will never do anything bad again. They just want this mercy, only once. Kai notes that if he says the word, they will be executed on the spot. As the sun rises, Johann tells the mercenaries to disarm and let them go. As they look at him, Gamson asks if he's letting these lowlives live just like that, but Johann tells him to listen carefully. He understands their circumstances. They probably have not done any work other than wielding weapons, but even so, Robbing caravans is not acceptable. He too only learned skills to survive. Eldon is even more surprised, a noble learning skills. Johann tells them to look at these men next to him. Do they think these people refrain from banditry because they do not know how to steal? Kai notes that he's only here because Goran pays well. Johann is letting them live, so they should learn skills and find another way to make a living. As they leave, the men all bow, vowing to never forget this kindness. Johann notes they should get going. He doesn't want to get dragged into something like this again anytime soon. On the horizon, the Black Wolf looks on, seemingly following Johann and his exploits with great interest. Before heading to Marseille, Johann's group decided to stop by a small place known as Rutskbeck village to rest a while, as they were all winded, especially Johann. The village chief is informed that the caravan arrived, and Eldon greets him warmly, while the village chief invites him warmly, asking if something happened on the way here. Eldon tells him all about the bandit gang that attacked them. Ever since the emperor went crazy, the bandits have become more and more prevalent. The chief tells him to watch it. If an imperial faction insider heard him, he would be in trouble. Eldon laughs it off, and notes that they were able to transport the goods safely. It's all thanks to the noble who traveled with them. The chief had an encounter with a noble too some few weeks ago, but it turned out to be a nobody pretending to be one, so he beat him and chased him out. Eldon laughs, as he's still acting recklessly despite his old age. Well, he doesn't need to worry. This noble is brave and uptight. Even after he protected them, he didn't ask for any reward. The chief can't believe something like that. But this old fox is not the type to lie. With bandits everywhere these days, simply having a night stay here would benefit the entire village. This is a true statement in this era, as a proper knight is strong enough to slaughter an entire warband, making them a great help for public safety. This is perfect timing since he's here. How about he stays a few weeks and gets some true rest? He said himself that bandits are getting out of hand. Eldon notes he can't impose on him like that, but the village chief doesn't believe they can't impose on each other. Eldon knows this wrinkly bastard is trying to snatch his companion away, and the chief knows this fur carpet is trying to get in his way. Meanwhile, the valiant knight they are fighting over is slumped below a tree, very hungry, looking like a beggar. Suddenly Goran arrives and gives him a bag with the money they seized. They sold off all the bandit property. It's not a fortune, but it's a decent amount still. Johann asks if he really didn't take any for him, and Goran notes that he was the one who captured them. So naturally, no. Johann looks at him and gives it back, telling him to split it with his men. Goran believes this is far too much. They surrendered to him. It only makes sense that the bandit money should be here. Johann already took his share, and really, it's completely fine. He thinks it's not fine in the slightest. It hurts to give up the money he got with his hard work, but compared to running at the wolves of Akaton alone, spending some money to stick to them is a lot better. He also notes that he didn't fight himself. They fought together, which means they are now comrades in arms. With that, he leaves, and Goran is completely touched, as this is a true knight, a knight who cares for the ones below him. With that, he goes to his mercenaries and notes that Johann has shown generosity to them and distributed the proceeds from selling the spoils of war. They should form a line and come forward to receive their share. The mercenaries can't believe it at first, but then cheer for Johann, calling out his name throughout the night. Later that night, as Johann sleeps with his blade, someone crept the door open, putting out the candle in his room. It seems to be an assassin who is ready to strike. The night before this attack, when Goran handed the coin to everyone, Johann heard everyone scream his name. This was good. They are satisfied with that small amount of money. He kept all the expensive silver coins and still earned their goodwill, so he came out in the end. Suddenly a villager popped up in his face, calling him by his name. He is the noble who came with Eldon, right? He was there to take him to his room, as the Katana Trading Company had already paid for all the expenses. Johann thought this was Eldon paying him back, in his own way, but this is perfect. With that, he let the old villager lead the way. Meanwhile, Gamson was screaming, demanding to know why he was the only one who got nothing. Goran did not want to hear it. He hid while everyone else fought, so he would not get a cent. Gamson couldn't believe they left him out for such a petty reason, and that's when he saw Johann and his blade. That surely must cost a lot of money, right? When he got to his room, the first thing Johann did was get into a bath, which he thoroughly enjoyed. Although he never expected a soft bed and a warm bath, such simple things, to make him so happy. He did not know it would be this hard to live as a wanderer without a roof. Back then, he didn't realize what a luxury it was to even be able to sleep on that old bed of his. Even though he was born a noble, he thought life was hard. Then that mad bastard of an emperor raised his family down, and it seems he was not the only victim of his madness. Still, he did survive, so he's better off than most. Now, he wondered if accepting Karamov's offer was the wise thing to do. At this rate, the Imperial Army will definitely catch him and have him executed. He needs to think of another way out of here. He remembered that the wolves couldn't do a thing to Eldon. A proud mercenary band wouldn't be scared of one mere merchant. They must be wary of his trading company. He also remembered learning about the trading companies at the village market when he was young. The trading companies in the same network share information and funds across borders. And if they are a powerful company, they can move nobles, politicians, or even an army. If he wishes to survive while being hunted by the Empire, he needs to get close to a trading company no matter what. Well, he should think about this complicated stuff later. For now, he will fill his stomach and sleep. After doing that, that's when the thief came into his room. He reached for his blade and grabbed it. But Johann wakes up. They really never get tired of this, huh? He should answer him, though. Is he one of Karamov's lackeys? The thief screams out, demanding to be let go. But Johann soon has him through the door and drags him back in for some important questions. He realized far too late that the man he had decided to steal from was not human. 5 minutes before this, as the innkeeper was having a big old snooze, Goran and a young man from the village, Pra, were climbing up the stairs. Goran asked if it's okay to leave this to that guy, and Pra confirms as such. He knows how strong and quick he is. He brought a dagger and a mask too. There's no way that Vulin will get caught. Pell should also be stealing the horse right about now, if he won't take any time to admire it. However, is that noble sword really worth it? Gamson told him, if he's ever seen a sword slice a person clean in half, he saw that thing do just that. A sword with that kind of power cannot be cheap, and that knight is nothing without it. That's when they turned the corner, and saw Velen being dragged into the room while screaming. Pra asks Gamson what is going on, and Gamson immediately bolts and tells him to do the same if he wants to live. They are screwed. He can tell just by his gut feeling that something is incredibly wrong. The innkeeper wakes up too due to the commotion, recognizing Pra, and demanding to know what the hell they are doing. Pell is waiting for them outside, who is glad to see them, but Gamson tells him to shut up and get ready. Pell asks where Vulin is, and Gamson tells him he's either dead or about to be, but he told them to run already. As Gamson gets on the horse, Pell asks what about Vulin, but Gamson tells him that the noble bastard might chase them here, so he should hurry and go. Pell refuses to leave without Vulin, and that's when Johann bursts through the inn, staring them down from above like a vengeful demon. Somewhere in the southern outskirts of the Holy Empire, a few guards put up a signpost with a warning notice. These people have stolen a noble's property. By his edict, they and their families are hereby punished and hanged. This is the edict of the Emperor of the Holy Empire, Carderian Bizelferk. One of the guards wonders what they stole to end up getting hanged. Did they run off with a family crest or something? The other guard tells him that one person stole a chicken and 3 eggs from Baron Dvorzak's territory. The other guard couldn't believe it. They all ended up like this, suffering such a cruel fate, just because of some chicken. While Eldon is enjoying his meal, one of the servers notes there's a problem. Gamson from the mercenary band got caught trying to steal Johann's belongings. Eldon immediately chokes and acts surprised, but then sits back down. He was hoping to talk to Johann about traveling with them up to Marseille too. He calmed himself and told the server to tell the others to capture Gamson post-haste. The rest of them will act as if they have nothing to do with it. The server is surprised by how calm he is. The Katana Trading Company is not prestigious for nothing after all. Eldon knows that nerves won't do him any good in this situation. He experienced a lot to get to where he currently is, and he will get through this. He will not die over something like this. He should think of a way to deal with that noble though, just in case. As the village meeting comes to an end, a young man rushes in, explaining that the troublemakers of the village got caught trying to steal the noble's belongings. The village chief smashed the table, and the young man asked what they should do. The village chief told him there is one thing to do: gather tribute to offer to that noble. They will throw in one of the slaves they've been holding at the village too. Additionally, they should prepare to execute the troublemakers in front of the noble. They all rejected the idea, as those kids were their own. He shouldn't decide their fate like that. The village chief immediately smashed his chair down, demanding to know if they were so fucking stupid as to not understand the situation. Have they forgotten the edict of the emperor? They have to make the first move before the noble does. That is the only way to survive. Those who covet a noble's property may have their tongues cut out, along with all their immediate family members, or be sentenced to hanging without trial. Some places had entire families wiped out because of his edict, simply because they demanded 1 chicken and 3 eggs in place of unpaid wages. All nobles are like this. Now what do they think that the nobles their brats messed with is going to do? They have offended a noble, so he will punish them. He might even cut off the hands of everyone in the village while babbling about honor. One of them says this is Count Jarpen's territory. No matter how great his house is, they could ask for help. The village chief told him to wake up to reality. Nobles only care about their little honor games, and not for villagers like them. The others couldn't say a thing against this, and the village chief told them he didn't want to do this either. But what choice do they have? The village will live if those kids die. He's truly sorry to sacrifice their kin, but this is for the village. Johann has already gathered the perpetrators in the middle of the village, and he seems rather stoic. But this is because he thinks this has gotten way too big. He thought they were assassins, but they were just some stupid kids trying to steal something they didn't even know about. They must have done it because of how his blade looked, meaning he should keep it hidden from now on. It's partly his fault for even carrying it out in the open like this, so he will scare them a little and let them go afterward. The village chief comes up to him and asks if he is all right. Johann immediately says that he is not. It seems that in their village they welcome sleeping guests by putting a blade to their throats and robbing them. Is that it? The village chief immediately smashes his head on the ground as an apology. This is his fault for failing to keep those idiots in check. Johann thinks that's enough of a scare and tells them to be careful next time. They all may leave now. Suddenly, though, the village head pulls out a dagger and announces he will personally make up for it by cutting off their heads in his honor. Johann thinks this lunatic is making the situation even worse and tells him to stop, but the village head refuses. Those who have sullied a great knight's honor deserve only death. Vulin begs to be spared, but the village head still swings, some of the villagers not being able to look at this grotesque act. Suddenly, Johann smashes his blade into the ground and asks if he has something in his ears. He will stop this instant. The village head freezes in fear, along with everyone else, even the air itself becoming silent. He asks if they have lost their minds. Are they going to kill people over such a trivial reason? If they wanted them to pay for their crimes, they should pay with money. The villagers are still silent, Johann thinking that this was perhaps a little bit too obvious. He rephrases, "How can honor be more precious than the life of a human? They will untie them at once and scram." The villagers fell on their knees to think he would make such a decision. The fathers and mothers of those kids rushed to their children, and the village head cannot believe such a noble exists. Eldon was telling the truth. He apologizes to him for thinking he would skin him into a pelt someday. The perpetrators thank him too, as they will never forget his kindness. They failed to realize how honorable he is, and fell victim to the ruse of this moron. Gamson spits on the ground, and upon seeing Kane approach, tells him to hurry up and untie him already. He damns this unlucky mercenary band. He should just get out of here while he can. Unfortunately, that day will never come, as Kane pulls him by the hair and tells him to relax his body, as that will make it easier to cut. Before Gamson can ask what he's doing, Khan slits his throat open, right in front of Johann. As Gamson slumps to the ground, Johann stares Khan down and demands to know what the hell he is doing. Khan explains that under the Holy Emperor's edict, he has executed the one who coveted a noble's wealth. Johann notes he didn't take his words seriously then. He's sure he said he wouldn't have to see their blood, did he not? Khan tells him that even mercenaries like them have honors and rules they must uphold, as dirty as their profession is. Gamson's cowardly actions trampled on both his and their honor. He was protecting their way of life. He points the hilt of his blade toward him. If he still believes he defied his authority, then he should punish him, as he will accept it with grace. Johann is a bit shocked by this action, but Khan is right. Mercenaries do have honor too. He is just trying to protect that with his life. He seems to put his hand on the blade, making everyone freeze for a moment, but Johann then releases it. Honestly, he failed to consider his position in all of this. He apologizes. The others can't believe it, and even Khan, a noble, is apologizing to him. Johann tells him to put that dagger away though. Khan understands and thanks him for his consideration. After retreating, Goran asks why the hell he decided to do something so reckless as standing up to a noble, and Khan tells him that if he thinks of doing something like this again, he should kick his ass. Eldon can barely hold his excitement in. He is so noble. He is different. He's an upright and brave noble, yet he is not authoritarian like the others. How can someone like him exist in this world? If he introduces him to the Katana Trading Company, his reputation will skyrocket, so he will make him an ally no matter what. After leaving the village, Johann looks at his reward. He looks at it because it seems expensive, but it's broken. Besides that, he also received a slave, whom he has to take care of now. The village head gratefully handed over what the villagers could scrounge up, and Johann immediately picked the watch, as it looked the most expensive. The village head also told him about the slave. He may not look like it, but he's good with geography, and he will come in handy. That was Johann's first time seeing a slave so poorly kept. Leaving him like this will put his life at risk. Johann thanked them, and told the village head to have him washed and get him something to eat before they leave. The village head told Godin to rejoice, as he is now in the service of an honorable knight. Even though he took him in, Johann still feels uncomfortable using a slave. After they make camp, one of the mercenaries notes that they never thought they would eat meat and soup while traveling. This is all thanks to Johann sharing the spoils. Godin comes around Johann too, bringing him his meal. Johann thanks him, and notes that from now on, he should address him by his name, and not by master. Godin sheepishly does so, making Johann wonder why he's so shy. Anyway, how did he end up becoming a slave when he's skilled in geography? Godin tells him it's not a pleasant story. but Johann notes he has his fair share of unpleasant stories to tell. Godin is surprised by that, and things happen to him even though he is a noble. But Johann wants to hear his story first. Godin explains that he was originally a peddler who transported and resold in the eastern region. He delivered weapons made by blacksmiths to nearby areas. Then, at the order of a noble, he ended up smuggling gold. Johann notes that smuggling gold is the death penalty at least. He was lucky to live, but why did he accept? Godin notes that he needed a lot of money to send to his family, as his younger siblings were sick and starving. That is why he kept delivering gold. The noble instructed him to hide, but one day he reported him. Johann understands after he served his purpose, he was thrown away to make sure that he doesn't spill. Did he request a trial at least? Godin didn't. Because of the emperor's edict, he didn't even get a chance to speak. Johann damns that emperor and asks if he at least sent money to his siblings. Godin denies it and notes that in exchange for not being killed, he had to do certain favors in front of the guards. He apologizes for crying. It seems that he has dust in his eyes, and Johann tells him that he needn't worry about that in front of him. Johann is mad, really mad, to the point where his teeth are chattering. If one has no power, they will get exploited like a criminal, as if it's everyday life. On top of that, nobody can stand up to the noble's atrocities either. Not the House Brit's private soldiers, who survived by robbing, and not the people of Rutzbeck, who were driven so far that they resorted to sacrificing their own. Not even Godin, who became a slave. He thinks he's incredibly pitiful, but he also does not have the right or time to worry about others. He is being chased by the Emperor's army now, and his life could end at any point. He calls Godin, and notes that they are now comrades, so he shouldn't die. They will survive and live together. Suddenly, one of the mercenaries notes that a monster has appeared nearby, and so he gets up to check it out. Godin was touched by his words, as he never heard those words before. Khan and Goran are already at where the monster is. It's too dark to see clearly, but there is definitely a monster there. Johann stands up and tells them to put their weapons away, as they are in no danger. Johann notes that he will go take a look, making Khan wonder if he will be alright. No matter how brave a knight he is, fighting monsters requires special skills. Even if they lure it into a really prepared trap and fight, they might still not win against such a thing. Goran notes that, unfortunately, their mission is to protect Eldon first and foremost. They cannot take on any risk like this. Johann has felt this aura before, a familiar pressure that makes a person's heart freeze, and those red eyes that permeate through the darkness. It's the Black Wolf of ill omen. It is most definitely him. Last time he saw him, he attacked the wolves of Akiton, and not him. Even though it could charge at him and kill him without making as much of a sound, he knows it won't attack. Johann tells the beast to come out, and it does so. Did he really follow him? Well, he should thank him for the last time. He survived because of that. Goran wonders if Johann knows how to handle beasts, and Khan is not really sure. He has never seen something like this in his entire life of adventuring. The wolf smells Johann a bit before chomping down on his head, but not with any force, just playfully. Johann tells them not to be so startled. Before he can tell them who he is, Eldon says it's the Guide of Dawn, isn't it? Johann asks what that means, and Eldon explains that in the Eastern Empire, there is an old song that goes something along these lines. In the age of great war, on a moonlit night, a warrior gave the wolf a name, the Guide of Dawn. The wolf who received a name bowed its head to the warrior, the Guide of Dawn. Its blue eyes shone in the darkness. When everyone saw the wolf running in front of the battlefield, they all shouted, "The Guide of Dawn." At the end of the war that tore the continent apart, the warrior brought about peace and met his end as a hero. The Black Wolf wept sorrowfully for 3 days and 3 nights at his side, and it set off on a journey to wherever order and heroes were needed. He is the Guide of Dawn. Johann thinks he's mistaking it for something else, as this is the Black Wolf of ill omen. Eldon explains that the Guide of Dawn originates in Eastern Empire folklore. As it passed down through the south, some details were distorted. The Guide of Dawn punishes evil and submits to a hero. That is a line from an old Eastern Empire text. Johann wonders if it really is that kind of being, and Eldon asks if he can pet it just once. Johann tells him to do it, but immediately the wolf growls at him. Perhaps it would be better if he did not do that. Eldon thinks it's only gentle with Johann. But wait, he's sure Eastern Empire folklore had a passage that went, if one gives a name of this divine beast, it will become his vassal. But is this backwater southerner the legendary hero? But that can't be it. Still, he asks Johann if he has given him a name yet. Johann says he hasn't. He never really got the chance. Eldon tells him to do it now. If the legend is true, then something incredible will happen. Johann wonders, though, what name should he give him? Eldon suggests Katana, but Johann doesn't know about that one. But hold on, the last time he saw it was when he buried Karamov, right? In that case, he will be named Karamov. Eldon is shocked by that name, and suddenly the beast begins to change from its dangerous-looking red hue to a divine and honorable blue. Johann is left speechless, as now, He has turned into the guide of dawn, Karamov. He goes toward his new master, and Johann notes he will count on him. It seems that Eldon was right. This thing really is astonishing. However, Eldon is now on his knees. Everything is exactly as it's described in the folklore. It's his first time seeing a scene from myth like this. He's respected him from the first moment he saw him. He protected them from the bandits, showed mercy to his enemies, and forgave them with honor. He pays his respect to the one chosen by the Eastern Divine Beast, the hero of troubled times. Everyone gasps at this revelation. Is Johann really the hero of troubled times? He sighs and apologizes, but he is not the kind of hero he thinks he is. He's just a wanderer from an insignificant house, worried about how to make a living. On top of that, he's being hunted after beating Karamov to death. He apologizes for disappointing him. Eldon says it's no problem, but in any case, may he have permission to introduce him to the Marcel Trading Company so he can at least repay him. Johann notes he said something about Marcel when they first met too, but what kind of place is it, as he has never heard of it in his life? Eldon explains that Marcel is famous as a free trade city. In this region, all cities must first pass through it. More than anything though, it's one of the few cities the Emperor dares not reach. Johann can't ignore his kindness then, and will go with him. He is doing it because naturally the Emperor can't reach it. Plus, trade seems to be active around there. If everything goes well, maybe he can start over as a merchant. Eldon escorts him back to camp while singing that folklore, making Johann hope no weird rumors spread around the trading company about him being a hero or whatever. But that title, the hero of troubled times, it does have a nice ring to it. But whether it's in his past life or not, he's still nothing but a wanderer, struggling to keep his life intact. He remembers Karamov's words again, but it's not like life before he died was real easy either. This time it's just different. This time he will move forward, step by step, with his own two legs. He will go to the city of wealthy merchants, Marcel. Johann is impressed by the city, with Godin noting that he never thought he would come back here. Since they are in the merchant city, Johann guesses they should do some shopping. He sees a cute dog, asking what he's doing over here, and one of the sellers pets it, finding it cute. Johann is glad that the guy looks like just a cute dog to everyone else, hopefully. The day before entering Marcel, Johann told Karamov that a puppy might be fine, but there would be chaos in the city if he brought in a monster like him. Could he wait? Suddenly Karamov glowed with power and got a lot smaller. Johann guessed this was one of his divine abilities, and Godin immediately hugged him. Johann guesses there won't be any issues if he's on that side, but he miscalculated. As he's still drawing attention, they need to get out of here, as they are still being pursued. Godin grabs his attention and explains that if he buys a large bag that can hold luggage, oil, and vinegar, he can handle the equipment. Johann forgot he was a merchant too, but he only had 4 silver coins. Can they really buy that much with so little? Godin picks up 1 silver and promises to get everything he mentioned with just 1 silver. Johann laughs and tells him not overdo it, not really believing that he will achieve his objective. However, 50 minutes later, Godin comes back with everything. Firstly, they bought his tactical bag and Godin's large backpack. This will make storage easier. Godin then used his incredible gift to sell the shattered helm for a high price. He even got a mace thrown in. Now that he does not have to keep showing that cursed blade, he's safer. On top of that, after buying vinegar and oil, they even had change left. Somehow they ended up with more money than before. If he can sell a broken helm for that much, how much would Karama's equipment be worth? If he goes back for it later, he will definitely sell it. Johann tells Godin that he looks quite happy doing familiar work. He guesses that he liked his old job. Godin admits he missed this life. He became a slave, not knowing if he would survive the next day, and living in constant fear and despair. But now that he has met him, he feels like he's returned to his life from back when he was a merchant. So that's why he's so thankful. Even if he had not been a slave, he would have liked to adventure with him. Johann is glad. He will be counting on him from now on too. Well, they should get to exploring Marcel too. Johann, who has only known hardship, is finally experiencing a happiness that far surpasses the life of a wanderer after arriving in Marcel. He's eating some ribs, which do not even compare to the old jerky he ate, which had the texture of a leather shoe. This meat melts in his mouth, and back then he couldn't even take a bath, and his whole body itched. But here, he can bathe whenever he wants. When he was traveling, he never had a proper space to sleep, but here, he can sleep under warm, soft blankets. Life in Marcel is very good, and he has decided that he is going to settle here. And so, Johann dreamed of settling down, but fate did not allow such a thing to happen. The next day, in the city square, as Johann is enjoying his peaceful life with Godin, he overhears some merchants talking about bandits, who, this time, took one of the merchants' daughters. On top of that, the goods they were bringing were stolen too. The merchants were worried about the news of tomorrow, how they would live properly with bandits roaming about. Godin noticed the atmosphere wasn't good, and he guessed it was because of this. Suddenly, one familiar mercenary screams at a meat seller, wanting one meat skewer, as he had not paid yet. It's been 4 days since he last ate anything. This man was a straggler from the mercenary group Wolves of Akiton. He lost his main group in pursuit of Johann, and as he wandered, he ended up drifting here. Suddenly, they both notice each other, and the mercenary immediately begins pulling out his blade. Johann wonders if they really tracked him all the way to Marcel. This is really bad. Nothing good will come of fighting right now. Still, the mercenary charges in, but someone else cuts his head off instantly. The man thought he was a bandit, but it's just a robber. With the current security being so terrible, all kinds of freaks are crawling out. Brazil asks Johann if he is hurt anywhere, and Godin says that they are not. The man tells them to watch themselves out here and rushes out. A few minutes pass, and the same man screams out at the citizens of Marcel. They should not worry. He is the captain of the Oak Tree Mercenaries, Brazil. He assures them that the 500-strong Oak Tree Mercenaries will wipe out the bandits and make this city safe again. Godin is impressed that he's seeing them in person, and Johann asks if they are that famous. He confirms that the Oak Tree Mercenaries are one of the top mercenary groups in the Empire. They are probably here for the bandits. They must have been hired to wipe them all out. Johann thinks that if that man had not helped him, he might have been exposed. If that happened, there is no way he could have stayed here any longer. With the Empire hunting him, as Karamov said, he should get a grip, as he is still fighting. The only way he can survive is by building a good relationship with the Katana Trading Company, as not even the Emperor dares to touch him. Fortunately, Eldon already thinks of him highly, so he got a chance to interact with them. But what if his identity is revealed before that? Would they still protect him if they learned that the Empire is after him? Not really. If he's exposed before he gets a good relationship with them, he will no doubt die. His goal is clear. He needs to go to the Katana Trading Company and get protection from the Empire. So until he gains the company's trust, his identity must not be revealed. Suddenly, someone asks if he is Johann, and she introduces herself as an exclusive maid of the Katana Trading Company, Ibelka. She heard of his exploits, and they were impressed, so they would like to form a close bond with him in his house. If he is not busy, could he come with her to the Katana Trading Company? They go there, and Godin stays outside with Karamov. Johann is glad he finally made it. This place could change his life, so he hopes the talks go well. A person comes from behind, noting that she heard of his exploits from Elden. She would like to formally introduce herself. She is Ion, the branch manager of the Katana Trading Company's Marcel branch. Johann introduces himself too, and Ion notes they should talk over a cup of this. This tea is a trade good brought from the Mediterranean. Johann thinks this is straight coffee, but thanks her nevertheless. He notes it has a wonderful aroma. Is it perhaps made by roasting fruit seeds and brewing them? She confirms as such, and notes that it's rare for someone to recognize it. Now, they should get down to business, as they can guess why he has come here. Johann wonders if they knew about him being hunted down, but Ian then says that he has ambition in his heart. She heard from Eldon how he protected the innocent, and showed mercy even to enemies. Seeing that a man like him has come to this city, where bandits run rampant, she was able to discern that his ambition is to save the city. Johann doesn't have a single clue about what she's talking about, but he plays along, noting that she has seen through his intent. She notes that ambition is not a bad thing. On the contrary, it's a worthy virtue, and their company loves to sponsor the ambitions of those who are worthy. If he wishes, they can even introduce him to the governor of Marcel. Johann is shocked. The governor is basically a mayor. Maybe he can get them on his side too. If everything goes well, even if the emperor shows, he won't be able to do anything. Johann thanks them for the offer, but could she tell him exactly what sponsorship entails? Eon explains that it means every service their company provides, such as restaurants, inns, and even entertainment. He may enjoy anything he wishes under the name of Katana. However, there is one condition. He must promise to fight under the company banner whenever required. Johann understands. In other words, she wants him to deal with the current bandits. She denies it. The Oak mercenaries have already departed for that. They would like him to do something else. Recently, the number of shop districts holding a grudge against them has increased. They say the Katana Trading Company is monopolizing the market, and the louder their complaints, the harder it is for them to handle. They would like him to remove the members of those disgruntled shop districts, preferably their children too. That is their condition. Later, Johann leaves the building, and Godin asks how it went. Johann seems somber, but suddenly tells him that they will go and suck some honey. 1 hour earlier, Johann refused. In a city as large as Marcel, it is only natural for complaints to arise if they monopolize distribution, and yet, instead of resolving it through discussion, they want him to kill them. Their families too? He cannot kill innocent people. He refuses to do it, so they should pretend that this deal had never happened. Ian looked sternly at him, but then smiled, noting that he passed. They were gauging whether he was suitable for their sponsorship, so he should forgive their impudence. Johann asks if what she said about the monopoly complaints is true, and she explained that the Katana Trading Company has never monopolized distribution, nor have they incurred any resentment. On the contrary, they distribute quality goods at accurate prices. They are rather well liked among merchants too. In any case, they wish to keep the terms first proposed, which does not mean they expect him to head into the battlefield immediately. The Oak Tree mercenaries have already gone to subdue the bandits. He's free to rest and enjoy the benefits in the meantime. So, would he join hands with them? Johann smiled and gladly accepted. Godin now wonders what his previous words meant, and Johann explains he wanted to say something like, "Let's go eat something expensive," as they are using money from the Katana Company. Godin guesses the talks went well, and Johann confirmed they sponsored him. Godin congratulates him, and Johann thinks that everything is finally going well. The bandits around have been causing trouble, but once the Oak Tree mercenaries wipe them out, this place will be peaceful, and he will live a happy life of pure relaxation. Suddenly he hears a scream, and it's from the city center, where 2 bodies have wound up. Johann wonders why the hell he's seeing bodies here, and Goran is glad to see him here. Johann asks what's going on, and he explains that the bandits around this place have grown more violent. After murdering the families of the city merchants, they threw their bodies here to threaten the city. The merchants have had enough too. This means nothing is being resolved, and they should hold the city accountable. One of them tries to argue with reason, noting that the emperor is inciting these bandits, but the other merchants don't believe him. There's no way an emperor would do such a thing. Outrage begins to spread, more people announcing their disdain, and Johann is mad that his peaceful life is over before it even began. Those bandits are running it all. What are the mercenaries even doing? Inside the Katana branch, Ian is informed about what is happening, but she already knows, though she does not know what the Oak Tree mercenaries are doing. The maid noticed that they tried contacting them, but they could not reach them. The liaison's corpse was found near the forest outside Marseille yesterday, in horrible condition. Ian thinks that the mercenaries have a military strength compared to a city. They are one of the top mercenary groups too, and they cannot be defeated by a simple bandit gang. They must immediately bring Swetelga, the mage of the Ifale River, as they must find out whether they really were taken down. The prophet puts his hand in the river, and notes that Katana has it all wrong. Searching for the mercenaries will not change their fate. He also sees Johann, the man who killed the emperor's personal hunting dog. He's now hiding inside this city, eh? However, things will not go the way he thinks they will. Eventually, Swetelga arrives at the branch, and the maid invites him inside. He notices that she sounds thankful, and yet she sends someone who drives the carriage like a maniac. The maid apologizes and rushes to bring Ian, but he says it's fine. If it were that urgent, she would have come on her own. She tries to say otherwise, but he will not repeat himself, so she guides him to a place to sit down. As Swetelga strokes his beard, he notes that according to the voice of Ifale, he would be able to meet him here. Johann is outside too, dressed more adequately, as today is the day he will meet Marcel's governor. He's going to get on his good side and settle down here, putting an end to his life of wandering. As they walk in though, Karamov begins to growl, with Johann asking what is wrong. Swetelga notes that the name he gave him does not suit a divine beast. Johann wonders who he is, and how he knows Karamov is a divine beast. Johann asks who he is, and Swetelga introduces himself. He is the sage of the Ifale River. Johann is confused, and Swetelga notes that basically he's a mage. Johann completely forgot that this world has magic. He came here to meet the governor, but he lucked out and met a mage too. Big cities really are this good. He notes that it's an honor to meet him, as he always wanted to meet a mage. Swetelga blushes, but for someone being hunted down by the emperor himself, he looks pretty good. Johann asks how he knows, and Swetelga explains that with his magic, he can see the secrets of the Ifale River, the past, and the future. Johann asks if he's going to report him, but Swetelga asks why he would do such a thing. Who does he think he is? He is the one who knows the secrets of the mighty river, a seeker of mysteries within the laws of nature. He has not the slightest interest in political squabbles. Only the voice of the Ifale River moves him. Moreover, if he had intended to report him, he would have done so in secret. Why would he babble about it in front of him? Johann thinks he is right, but if that's the case, he notes that he would like to hear more about magic from him. Swetelga has never met such a man. A normal knight would call him cowardly, who does not know honor, but this knight is lit up over magic. Johann asks how magic is used. Is it something just anyone can do? This is his chance to learn magic and turn into a magic swordsman. If he becomes one, his chances will definitely go up. Swetelga agrees. It's because of fate that they met, and it's not like he can't tell him about it. However, telling him outright would be too boring. So if he wins even a single round in a game with him, he will teach him. Johann asks what they will play, chess or arm wrestling. Swetelga notes that he would have a clear advantage if they were to play that, and the game of kings is fun, but it cannot compare to the game of gods. Naturally, the game he is talking about is Go. Swetelga tells him to sit down. He knows it looks complicated, but he will go easy on him. Johann thinks he's lucky, He actually won a 4th Dan Go tournament before, so he is confident in his skills. He does not know how good this old man is, but he can beat him. With this, the true battle begins. A battle of wits, rather than blades. 50 minutes later, Johan seems tired, but immediately Swetelga asks him to let him take back a few moves. Johan denies his requests, as he has taken back his move 5 times already. Swetelga smashes the Go table. How is he slaying in the game of gods? Is this truly his first time playing? Even the Sultan of the Eastern Empire could not surpass him. Johan notes that it's because he taught him so well. Swetelga asks for one more game. If he loses again, he will give him a gift that will help him. Johan agrees, if he insists. So how many handicap stones should he give him? Swetelga asks for 3, and so they begin playing again. As they play, he asks Johan why he's so interested in magic if he is of noble birth. Johan notes that he already knows the Emperor wants him dead. Wouldn't it be better to have more tools at his disposal? Swetelga notes that if he wishes to use it for combat, they can stop here, as the knowledge he can offer is nothing of the sort. Johan asks if magic really can't be used in combat, and Swetelga indulges him, since he did promise him. He heard of those who applied it to combat, but he should listen very carefully. What people commonly call mages mainly discover the mysteries of nature. Some discover them in wind, some in fire, and some even in some of sulfur. A certain fool even bragged that he discovered a mystery in the Black Forest. Those discovered mysteries are called spirits, and mages borrow the power of said spirits. They usually lend their powers without asking for anything in return, but there are times when their whims cause death. Even if he comes in contact with a mystery, he should be careful not to go against their will. Johan understands. He probably won't risk his life only for a little magic. He doubts magic items even exist at this point. Ian rushes towards their room upon hearing that Swetelga is here, the maid apologizing, as he said not to tell anyone. As she enters the room, she sees him teasing someone with the game of gods again, but it appears to be the opposite, as he is losing to none other than Johan. Just what kind of person is he? She makes her presence known, and notes that he should have told her that he came to Marcel, has been playing with Johan all this time. Swetelga notes he was just playing a few games with this knight, but since she arrived, they have to finish it here, and certainly not to cover the fact that he was losing pretty badly. He hands Johan 2 vials. It's the reward he promised. They are water flasks containing the final secrets of the Ifale River, called the Water of Wrath and the Water of Blessing, respectively. At the Oak Tree Mercenary Outpost, everyone is scared out of their wits by a malevolent being who exudes an aura of death. The mercenaries can only scream as they are attacked. Johan picks up the flasks, and Swetelga explains that ever since ancient times, the Ifale River has a long-kept secret, the mystery of life and death. He spent his entire life trying to uncover it, but the river never revealed it to him until he showed up. As long as his head isn't completely severed, the red flask can heal him without an issue, no matter the injury, and the green flask can melt a person with a single drop. Johan is very glad to see that magic items really exist, and Swetelga turns his attention to Ion. She called for a prophecy, right? She confirms that bandits have appeared around Marcel, and there have been many casualties. The trading companies sent the Oak Tree mercenaries, but they have not been able to contact them. Swetelga explains that they failed 3 days ago. The voice of the river has prophecy. The southeast of Marcel, the will of Oak Tree shall be trampled on by a rock of steel. Their fate will be cut down behind a veil, failing to stop the thing that will destroy this city. She never expected for the Oak mercenaries to lose to bandits. This sounds like they will need a city council meeting, so it's time for Johan to act under their banner. He understands, and will do just that. The meeting soon takes place, and the pompous merchants rush in, with one noting that they should begin soon, even though he was the one who was late. He is Baron Einberg. Johan can't believe that ridiculous mustache of his. There sure are a lot of weirdos in this era. The governor greets them, as they know. He is Vialco. Johan smiles. He needs to get on his good side if he wants to settle down in a city where the emperor can't reach. He has to make a good impression. The governor notes that seeing all the influential families here today, he should like to thank them for making the time to attend, despite being busy with their schedules. Before they begin, he would like to introduce a noble to them all. This is a member of House Yates, who is sponsored by the Katana Trading Company, Sir Johan. He greets them, and they all slowly clap, making Johan feel pretty weird. Baron Einberg notes that, more importantly, he heard the mercenary group hired by the trading company failed in their task. What happened? If they had asked the Holy Empire's emperor for help, this issue would have been resolved. The anti-emperor faction screams out, noting that those bandits showed up because of him. He should take responsibility by lowering the taxes he takes. The pro-emperor faction tells them to shut it. How dare they insult His Majesty with their blasphemous words? They get into a shouting match, and Johan doesn't understand a word they are saying, but a lot of people here openly follow the emperor. He will be in danger if he's exposed. Suddenly, Vialco tells them to shut it, and they all sit down like a bunch of puppies. Ian clears her throat and explains that they understand their concerns and prepared a backup plan to form a second subjugation force and strike the bandits at their source. They are all surprised, but Baron Einberg notes that he expected nothing less. The Emperor values Marcel's peace above all else. All he needs is to say the word, and he will send his troops. Johann thinks that absolutely cannot happen, and hopes Vialco turns them down. He agrees that Einberg contributed a lot to the city. In fact, he is grateful, but he must decline. His Majesty must be busy with the recent rebellions, so he wishes to lighten his burden. Marcel will organize a new mercenary force that includes Johann. Einberg notes that if this is his decision, then he will leave it at that. Johann breathes a sigh of relief, but that mustache guy is probably pro-Emperor, and he and the Emperor seem close. Eldon said the Emperor couldn't touch Marcel, but that's not what it seems like. Well, they should continue the meeting. The members of the council have prepared a tea gathering. As they all leave, Vialco asks Johann if he can spare some time, and he agrees. If he really is pro-Emperor, then he should run away immediately. He really has the worst luck. As they leave, Einberg looks at them. As the two get to Vialco's office, he asks what house he belonged to again. Johann explained that he is from Yates, clearly lying, and Vialco is glad to hear it. They are rather special, known for their date palm-infused liquor, which is famous among those in the know. Johann never expected this to be a real family, and Vialco pulls out some liquor from his house. He must imagine he misses home. Johann thanks him, drinking it, and noting that it brings back memories. Clearly lying again. Vialco is glad, but has his house been doing well? He heard the Emperor's cold blade swept across the north, a tragedy to be sure. Unfortunately, many houses were purged, and the survivors scattered across the land, and are now bandits. Among the purged houses, one person is said to be wanted for treason. They say he's from House Eitz after all. Johann notes that this is the first time he has heard of such a name, and Vialco understands. He's gone too far with the small talk. That reminded him, however. Did he know that what he just drank was actually some cheap whiskey, and not the date palm-infused liquor? How about they stop with the wordplay, Johann Eitz? He will not hand him over to the Emperor, or perhaps he will? Johann asks what he means, and Vialco explains his decisions are based on if Marcel benefits or not. Whether this city needs the pro-Emperor faction, or the anti-Emperor faction, nobody can say for sure. He will use the balance between them to protect the city. Right now, the most urgent task is the bandit gang, so he should wipe them out, earn merit, and prove that this city needs him. If he can't, then he will send him straight to the Emperor. Johann slumps over after this. He finally thought he was going to have an easy life, but it was just another shackle around his neck. Should he just run away? Remembering all he went through, though, he thinks that nothing in this world is for free. If that's how it is, he will get in that bastard's good graces. Godin notes that the subjugation force is coming. The men Vialco gathered for him, the Red Iron mercenaries, the St. Iena Monastery, and even St. Galanto. Godin thinks this is amazing. He cannot believe such big shots are gathered in one place. They are all well known around here. While the St. Galanto Monastery is a male-centered order of holy knights, famous for alchemy, the St. Iena Monastery is a female-centered one, said to be powerful enough to hunt trolls. The Red Iron mercenaries are siege masters. As dwarves, they value honor and are loyal, but they are also open-minded. The Knights of Count Bartok are coming too. They are elves from Erang's renowned for their skill. Johann notes that elves are rude as hell, which makes Godin laugh. Johann thinks this is enough, so he should take a look at the people he will fight alongside. The first to show is the Red Iron captain, Kumal, with Eon thanking him for answering the call. This is the knight of the trading company who will be fighting with them. Johann greets him courteously, but Kumal tells him to speak casually. Johann notes he cannot do such a thing as captain of the force. Does he not need to uphold his pride in front of the men? Kumal notes that he is thoughtful, but even if he speaks casually, nobody will doubt his authority. Johann will take him up on that then. With that, he asks how the Holy Knight will be moving, with both leaders noting that they will move with his men. This is St. Iena Monastery's vanguard commander, Villia, and the St. Galanto Monastery vanguard commander, Agante. Kumal offers his thanks for their consideration. Johann thinks that this dwarf is pretty decent. He doesn't get why the subjugation captain has to ask for consent over command authority, but he likes him. The knights arrive too, asking why they gathered so many troops. They alone will suffice. This is the leader knight of Bartok, Gustav. Laurent and Leon agree. Gustav notes that he heard Johann is from a house, and Johann confirms as such, saying that he is from House Yates. Gustav says he hasn't heard of it, and since they are unimportant, he will not give them orders. And Gustav also digs into Kumal, noting that they will not be taking orders from him. He also orders Yaon to prepare a grand send-off feast in the name of Gustav. Johann now understands why the dwarf asked about command authority, but still, with their lineup, they should be able to wipe out the bandits, even if those elf bastards are just obnoxious. This battle might go well. Suddenly, the maid comes to Eon and whispers something. causing her to go to Johann and say that someone wishes to meet him. He asks if it's Vialco, but judging by her reaction, it clearly isn't. The night before the second bandit subjugation force departs, in the open field near the Marcel, the knights drink and eat like there's no tomorrow, and cheer for the death of their enemies. In the etiquette of this world's nobility, refusing a drink can be taken as an insult, because it implies they do not trust the other party. Johann arrives at the person who wanted to meet him, seeing the alcohol, making him wonder if nobles just like to drink all day. Well, at least it's not that cheap whiskey Vialco used to test him. Just thinking about that gave him a headache. The noble notes that he's the noble marching out tomorrow to wipe out the bandits. Is it the reason money? Johann asks who he is to ask such rude questions without revealing his face, and so the cloak falls. It's Baron Einberg, a loyal subject of the Emperor. He may not know, but Marcel claims neutrality, yet in principle, it behaves like an anti-Emperor faction. Does he understand why he sought him out? Johann still doesn't. He is not good with complicated things. Einberg thought he would say so, but he should listen well, as he will give him a life lesson. Merchants only require two things: profit and strength. If the Katana Trading Company is backing him, that means he is their strength, someone who knows of battle. Johann asks why he thinks that, and Einberg thought about his name. He looked into it, and could not find his house. Though House Eitz, which does sound familiar, exists, it was wiped out because of treason, not only their lord, but everyone in the keep. Anyway, what help is a nameless house to a trading company? Whether he is Eitz or Yates, it matters not. They took him in here because they saw strength. Johann asks what he wants, as he doesn't have all night. Einberg tells him not to go to the subjugation tomorrow. He should use his strength for his majesty, and he promises him rewards greater than anything. Johann understands that a chance to become part of the Empire's core, receive formal knighthood, and obtain a fertile land. If he follows the Emperor, only glory and peace will lie before him. The Baron confirms as such, but Johann asks if it's not the way of the world for the weak to spill the blood, and for the strong to drink it. It's only natural that the weak get slaughtered by the bandits. It's fate. The Baron says that it's exactly it. He has a right head on his shoulders. Johann suddenly refuses. A few months ago, a man claiming he bore the Emperor's command came to his domain and slaughtered everyone he knew. He made a similar offer to him then, and of course he refused it. But there's one major difference. He died by his own hand. He crushed the head of the Emperor direct night, for those serfs who were treated like worms, without ever thinking about it. He is right. He is the only survivor of House Eitz, which was wiped out. He takes the cup and drinks the wine poured for him, and the Baron asks why he would do something so foolish. Johann grips the cup and smashes it into the table. He will wipe out the bandits by himself. Not for the Emperor. Not for this fucking city either. Since he gave him a life lesson, he will give him a piece of advice too. It's in his best interest not to tell anyone what he heard tonight. As if he does not heed this warning, it won't be just the table he crushes next time they meet. He rushes out, mad and annoyed that he dared to offer him something like this. Suddenly, his heart is burning, and he cannot breathe. Soon, blood comes out of his mouth, as it was nothing else but poison that he drank. He falls to the ground, slowly dying as the poison begins to take hold. Baron Einberg twirls his mustache, as no matter what, tonight, victory is his, and nobody else's. At the same time, in the open space near the Marcel gathering point, Gobin is surrounded by a bunch of ladies of the night, who find him rather cute, and don't believe he is from the mercenary group because he is too skinny. If he's stuck with nothing but sweaty old men, that's no fun for him, right? They press closer against him, as they ask if he doesn't want to come and play with them. Gobin eventually finds an opening. Pass the ball if you're not gonna play, bro. The ladies still find him cute and wish to dress him up. Gobin goes inside the manor, calling out for Johann, as this place is way too scary for someone as innocent as he is. It seemed that Swelga was having a hard time too, so he should come back quickly. As he walks through, he sees Johann on the ground, and it makes his heart sink. He crouches down to his level and asks what happened for him to be bleeding this much, and the blood seems to be dry too. He picks up Johann and screams out, hoping that someone, anyone, comes to rescue him. He also tells Johann to get a hold of himself, as he cannot die like this. Eventually, Johann wakes up, and the first thing he does is throw up his guts, the poison clearly leaving his body by this point. He calls out Gobin, who is standing by, and remembers what he did. Nobody came for the rescue, so he used the potion that Swelga gave them. Johann thanks him back then. If he didn't find him and did what he did, he wouldn't be alive right now. Gobin says it was nothing. He panicked without realizing he had the water of blessing. He turns to Swelga, who is also in the room, and thanks him. If there hadn't been that water of blessing, he would be dead right now. Swelga notes he did nothing in particular, but anyhow, he really did something rather foolish, didn't he? He knew that the Baron of Einbeck was part of the pro-Emperor faction, and he still went looking for trouble with him? If he's going to do reckless stuff, he should at least die quickly. That way, they can conserve the remaining water of blessing. Johann notes that about half of it is left, so he will use it wisely from now on. Swetelga asks, did he catch the Baron in the end? If he wants to prove the charges, he will need the Baron after all. Johann explains that by the time he got there, he'd run away. He wasn't there. He screamed out as he rushed back, this time accompanied by 2 mercenaries. He demanded to know how he dared to poison his drink. He will not go easy on him anymore. Goran noted that the guy he was looking for seemed to have run away already, as there was nobody there. However, Johann found something even more important on the ground, documents he couldn't take with him when he fled. Everything about this entire incident is in this envelope. Swetelga asks what's in it. Is it like the things the rumors say? Proof that the Emperor has hired bandits? Johann denies that. Something far more serious is written here. That same night, the Baron takes off, thinking that by now, Johann is probably dead. That is very good. Everything is proceeding exactly as the Emperor has ordered. He makes his way to another encampment, where the people immediately allow him entry, and they all welcome him warmly. He goes up to a podium and looks on at the men, telling them that they are not bandits. They are mercenaries of the strongest empire, bound by the gold of the Holy Empire, the strongest mercenaries and warriors in all the land. To those who swear loyalty to the great Emperor of the Holy Empire, only dazzling glory shall follow. For a long time, he undermined Marcel from within. Their plans and strategies are in his hands. They have fallen into chaos and will die without even knowing who their enemy was in the first place, like the dogs that they are. The bandits cheer on, and the Baron seems proud of this speech. He also adds that His Majesty personally sent an imperial court mage to them. The bandits are rather surprised, and one of them wonders if it's Kegel of the Crimson Flame. The said mage comes out of the shadows and notes that it's so absurd to compare her to some ordinary mage. She is an imperial court mage, favored by the Emperor himself. Her name is Janina. The bandits are surprised to see a snake beast man in their midst, but they've never heard of a mage named Janina before. She says that it's only natural. She's not a mage who merely wields trivial elements like most others. She handles living weapons. She pops the cork off the vial she was holding, and the smell seems to attract something that makes the very ground shake as it approaches, shocking the bandits. They can't believe their eyes. They are face to face with a troll. Janina explains that now, her adorable troll will stand shoulder to shoulder with them in the incoming battle. The Baron screams out that tomorrow is the day of victory. They will crush Marcel's second subjugation force and offer Marcel to the Emperor. They all begin screaming for the Emperor too, their tiny minds not being able to comprehend the lies they are being told. Johann calls Goban out once again and tells him to deliver this letter to Vialko Tranieni and not tell anyone else about this. He thinks it's something he absolutely has to verify before anything. After that, Johann calls over Goran and Khan, while Swetelga just stares, rather puzzled. He wonders why the Ifale River is trying to save that knight. What is it that it wishes to do through him? On the day of departure, in front of the Marcel Gate, the second Marcel bandit subjugation force makes final preparations to set out, with Kumal standing in the front. The priests pray to their lord, and Johann arrives too. Goban comes around and wishes good fortune in this battle, and Johann thanks him, also telling him to take care of Swetelga for him. The old man notes that this is not his first and probably not his last subjugation operation. He should worry more about himself. With that, Johann leaves toward the group and arrives next to Kumal, who is glad to see him again. Since everyone seems to be ready, Kumal gives out the signal to the horn-bearer. But just as he's about to give the order to move in, the foolish knights charge in first in front of anyone. Johann is not even mad anymore, just kind of disappointed, and now understands why Kumal got consent for command. He tells his horn-bearer to blow it again, and with that, the order to advance is given. Inside of the city, Ion and the magistrate hear the horn blare out, with Ion noting that it seems they have finally departed. Velako looks at the letter Johann gave him, and guesses she checked on it already, right? Ion confirms as such, and explains that they found it yesterday, in Baron Einbeck's room. Velako can't help but laugh. Of all times, it had to be the day before the deployment, and in the Baron's room too. He still cannot believe that this is a genuine letter, especially if there's a web of grudges between houses. Ion notes that the crest is unmistakably Einbeck's, and it's not something that can be easily forged. Vialko agrees that, looking at the crest and the contents of the letter, it does seem like he's the one behind everything. Ion explains that they also tried to press the Baron about this, but he has already slipped out of the city. At this point, is this not more than enough evidence? Vialko disagrees, as he cannot trust that young knight just yet. He's also concerned that her trading company is placing far too much faith in an unknown individual. Ion notes that their trading company doesn't sponsor just anyone. They place their trust only in those they deem are worth it. Vialko understands that perfectly, but she should remember this. If those knights' misguided actions shatter the balance within the city, The Katana Trading Company won't be able to avoid the responsibility for their actions. As she heard this, Ian formed one thought in her head. This man might be from the Pro-Emperor faction. At the Pro-Emperor faction camp, the people inside the tent ask if what the Baron said is true. He confirms as such. He just received word from the messenger. The second subjugation force has set out, and they will fall into their trap without fail. Marcel is basically already in their hands. His Majesty's hands, of course. The head of the Pro-Emperor faction's Special Operations Duke Unit Mayhem laughs. All they have to do now is wait for the news of their victory. Once this is all over and they take over Marcel, the first thing he's going to do is patrolling the brothels. The Baron twists his mustache in response, and Janina finds what this guy said kind of disgusting. But Mayhem sees that the Baron's expression remains pale, and so he asks what's wrong. He notes that it's nothing for them to worry about. However, he asks Janina if she's heard anything about Karamov, something going wrong on his expedition, like him getting a serious injury or something. The two remain still for a second, but then laugh, as Karamov getting a serious injury is a rather ridiculous joke. Karamov is the Empire's strongest, even in swordsmanship, and he's practically wrapped head to toe in legendary equipment. This means that he's the core of the Empire's military power all by himself. For something to happen to that man, it would have to take 1,000,000 men. The Baron's nerves are calmed down a little now. What that lowborn said was actually something to try and deceive him. It's a good thing that he ended his pathetic life. The subjugation unit eventually arrives near the battle, where they see that Gustav's unit swept through cleanly, seemingly taking care of a couple of bandits ready. Gustav's man sees them and notes that they thought something happened to them, but it's just the dwarves being slow, isn't it? Kumal steps forward and notes that he is indeed a dwarf, but Johann is actually a noble, so how about they show some respect, before he crushes those pointy ears of his, that is. As they bicker, Johann thinks that elves and dwarves really don't get along, as expected. He tells Kumal that this is enough, and he apologizes. Johann moves his attention to one of the elves, and asks if there was fighting here, and where everyone else went after the battle. The elf explains that the valiant Gustav and the elven knights wiped this place clean. They are now leading the main force in pursuit of the remaining bandits. Sure enough, they are marching through the forest against the bandits, who are all running for their lives. The elf also emphasizes that every piece of loot and prisoners here belong to Gustav and the knights. They arrived late, so they do not have to share. Kumal notes that they've already been paid by the trading company, so they can split up the copper and broken blades they find among themselves neatly. Johann feels that something is off. The bandits wiped out the Oak Tree mercenaries of 500 men, yet they lost on one side against maybe 20 men. It's like the elves didn't even take a single casualty. He looks on at the forest on the right and thinks it's the perfect terrain for an ambush. He asks the elf if they searched the forest around here, but he wants to know why. Is he planning a hunt or something? Johann knew it. Those bandits retreated on purpose to lure them deeper inside. This is clearly a trap. Kumal gives out the order to keep moving. If those pointy-eared knights start nitpicking again, they will hear no end of it after the battle. Johann tells him to stop only for a moment, and tells him to get the unit in a defensive formation right now. All shooters are to concentrate fire into the forest. Kumal tries to tell him that attacking an empty forest is a bit of an exaggeration, but Johann explains that if there is an enemy lying in ambush in that forest, the terrain here puts them in serious danger. They need to make sure first before they pass through. Kumal believes they can just crush them, as these are only bandits. Johann believes he's too short-sighted, as they even annihilated the famed Oak Tree mercenaries. They can no longer treat them like bandits, so before the main force goes deeper, they must confirm right now. The elf there laughs, and Kumal notes that if they pour firepower in, and it turns out that there was nothing, those pointy ears will humiliate them. They will call them cowards scared by bandits. Johann tells him that if he can trade his honor for the lives of these men, then he will do so as many times as it takes. The elf continues laughing, and Kumal is pretty annoyed, but he decides to follow Johann's suggestion. He thinks this is good. He managed to persuade them. Unlike last time, Kumal orders the men to get in defensive positions, and the shooters to prepare to fire. The dwarves put up their long shields, and above them, the arrowmen prepare to fire towards their flanks, and the mortarmen split up to accommodate the sides. With that, they fire into the forest, and they actually hear the clinks of armor as the arrows are stopped. Everyone is surprised, as there really was an ambush. But the most surprising thing is that this is no bandit gang. Before all of this, Johann asked Goran and Khan if they had heard of the Bullhead mercenaries. Khan has. Even among mercenary groups, they are pretty well known. There's an all-elf mercenary group called the Wolves of Akiton, and they say the Bullheads are even more expensive than those bastards. Johann wanted to know everything he knew about them, but Khan didn't know much. For mercenaries, they are strangely surrounded in secrecy. The hiring fee is high, and they don't take on just any job. From what's known, their movements are like a herd of enraged bulls. They charge straight into the center of the enemy formation, break through the defensive line, and collapse the enemy from the inside. Johann thought they were using penetration tactics, not unlike Germany's blitz tactics from the Second World War. Goran asked if he thought they would be facing them tomorrow, and Johann confirmed as such. The enemy we'll be fighting tomorrow is not just a band of bandits, it will be the Emperor's elite mercenaries. Khan noted that if they ran into them tomorrow, they should retreat no matter what, and avoid a head-on clash no matter what. Johann asked why, and Khan explained that if they fight head-on, they won't stand a chance. It's only a rumor that he's heard, but it's said that they can command a centaur. Johann was shocked, but he had heard of it when he was little, about the hero slayer Minotaur. It has a massive body and overwhelming strength. On top of that, it's a monster with intelligence close to a human. They say countless warriors and knights challenged it, and every one of them lost. Goran laughed and told him not to worry. Tomorrow they will risk their lives to help him retreat. Johann smiled, as he was planning to ask for their help anyway. Goran said that they wanted to see that bull-headed bastard too, and Khan said that they will probably have to run before they even get a look. Johann appreciated the sentiment, but he was going to ask them too for something else. The bandits who were acting like scouts were killed immediately because of the assault of arrows, but the bull mercenaries are clad in armor, and one of them notes that they should all prepare to charge. The heavy hoof of the Minotaur crashes on the ground next to him, and he lets out a bunch of air from his nostrils as the arrows continue to pelt him. The warriors put on their helmets, and they advance toward the enemy. The mortars are shot again, but they don't seem to do much against the heavily armored group, who stands in front of the subjugation force without fear. Suddenly, the Minotaur screams out, and the bull mercenaries charge in, moving exactly in a penetrative position. Kumal looks at them. He can't believe he's finally seeing the bull-headed mercenaries. Johann thinks that even if they prepared in advance, it still turned out to be a frontal collision. He has to do something about this. He tells Kumal to brace for impact, as they will be charging straight at and through them. He will do something about that charging formation. Kumal tries to tell him that going alone is far too dangerous to even be considered, but Johann rushes in, making Kumal tell his red iron mercenary to listen up. These bull-headed mercs are trying to test their might, but they will learn soon enough just how useless their weapons and armor really are. The bull-headed mercenaries see Johann approaching, but don't even flinch, as it is only one man. If he is desperate to die, then they will grant his wish. However, Johann, using only a mace, begins to swipe down, taking one of the heavy mercenaries down instantly, before pummeling the others as he goes through, seemingly breaking their formation as they attempt to slow him down. The second leader sees that he's trying to smash their formation, so he shouts at everyone to maintain the breakthrough formation no matter what. Johann is left alone, and damns it all, as he didn't expect them to realize what he was trying to do that quickly. Kumal tells his men to get ready, just as the bull mercs are at their doorstep. Both merc groups are screaming out, but the second bull merc leader smashes through their shield formation, and his men begin to rush in, killing man after man in a brutal push toward the middle. Seeing this, however, Kumal and his warriors charge in, Kumal himself cutting the elite merc's leg before hitting his jugular, putting the heavy man to the ground, shocking his men. Kumal calls out to his warriors as his weapons begin to glow in a fiery aura. He wants to see their weapons filled with the blood of their enemies. Johann is glad that he won't have to worry much about that side. It will allow him to focus on the head-on clash he's about to face. As Johann charges in, another elite mercenary steps in front of the Minotaur and asks what kind of nobody he is to dare to fight Numeros, the captain of the 100. One of the mercs tells him that he's the knight who tried to break their formation from the inside, and the elite merc calls him an idiot. He's soaked to the bone in those hero fantasies he was taught as a child. The merc alls out to Numeros and begs him to be allowed to face that bastard. Numeros allows him one chance, as he is a squad leader of 10. With this, the warriors get hyped up, and all 10 men prepare to face Johann. They will tear him into pieces. As soon as Johann comes, though, he leaves them on the ground, completely and utterly defeated. They didn't even make a move. He pulls up to Numeros, smiling as it's pretty rad to see an actual Minotaur in the flesh. It seems that the rumor Khan mentioned was true. He called out to Numeros, asking if he is the captain of these mercs. Numeros tells him to get off that horse while he still can, because when he chops him into tiny bits, his horse might get hurt. He likes how that horse carries itself, so he should get down. His men are already calling dips on his shoes and armor, and Johann does get down, as he wouldn't want the horse to get hurt either, since he was named after his brother. Also, if he does win, he will make a stew out of his tail. But they shouldn't linger any longer and should come at him, as he looks like an expensive-looking gift set. This flies over Numeros's head, as gift sets don't exist in this time, but Johann just smiles. Numeros suddenly rushes in, wielding his axe mightily as he sends it toward Johann, who is forced to do an unnecessary backflip. Numeros doesn't stop there. as he raises the axe high and tries to hit Johann again and again, who can't believe how much the difference in reach is affecting this battle. He knows that if this battle axe so much as grazes him, he's cooked. He damns his situation as rushes in, thinking that he should have brought the crest recoverer after all. Numeros screams out, telling him to come already, as he will give him a death worthy of a knight. As he attacks again, Johann slides under his feet and sees an opening, lunging at it immediately. He manages to hit Numeros straight in the groin. The loud snap it makes is heard throughout his men as they and every male watching this shares in his pain. Numeros' pain sensors are in a state of shock too, and he drops his axe as he clutches his pearls. Seeing him so defenseless, the cruel Johann charges in once again, this time aiming directly at his head. Meanwhile, the dwarf mercenaries are holding their own against the bull mercs, but it's clear that little by little, they are being pushed back. Seeing this, the priests produce some vials in their hands and ask God for forgiveness as they drink the contents. The bull knights look at them as they charge in. Seeing that the holy knights have gone berserk, using the power of this potion, their senses increase threefold, allowing them to cut up the armored mercenaries without issue. One of them manages to catch Agante by surprise, but Villia rescues him. She tells Agante to get up, as there are still people who need their help. Agante takes her hand, noting that screams are hymns, and fresh blood is holy water. The light will be with them. The bull-headed mercenaries still refuse to fall back in spite of this, as Numeros will crush that knight and come back to save them. Unfortunately, their lord is now on the ground, completely and utterly defenseless as Johann stands above him, wondering if he has any last words, since he's a hero slayer and all. The mercs put down their helmets, accepting that their leader has lost. Numeros apologizes for mouthing off. He begs for his life, seeming more like a beggar than anything. Even if he were to kill him, it will not help his honor at all, as he is not a real minotaur. Johann asks what he is talking about, and Numeros explains that he's only a half-minotaur. He's not as strong as a pureblood, and he's not as smart either. Even if he does kill him, it will only count as a small achievement. Johann doesn't really know what he's talking about, and then calls out the bugler, telling him to inform the ones that went ahead that they have been defeated. Numeros sighs, thinking that they are screwed, but Johann is not done with him, as there is something he needs him to be a witness to, and he will tell only the truth. The mercenaries in front who are still holding on look back as they hear the horn, signaling that their lord has lost. Kumal thinks it's not bad at all. Johann has proven himself to be a capable warrior. He screams out at their bugler, telling him to sound the victory call, as this is the first victory of this battle. Later, at the Katana Trading Company branch, Ian tells Vialco that she just heard news of the subjugation force winning their first battle. Vialco heard as well that the Elf Knights of Bartok did great work, it seems. Ian tells him that actually they lost contact with them. Vialco is shocked. What does that even mean? There is no way Elf Knights would lose to mere bandits. Ian agrees that would be the case if they were an ordinary bandit gang. But as Johann claimed, there was a mercenary group hiding their identity. She gives him a document that just arrived, and so he should read it. The bullhead mercenaries confessed everything. They said it was all at the instigation of the Baron, confirming that the previous letter was indeed his. Vialco is surprised. If she's talking about the bullhead mercenaries, it means their captain is that Minotaur, right? His admitting to the charges means he was captured alive, but who could do something so absurd? Ian tells him that there is someone who does absurd things from time to time, and he can guess who that is. Johann takes a rest. Swedelga, along with Godin, comes into his tent, with Swedelga noting that he has worked pretty hard. Johann tries to get up, noting that he came a long way to get back to the outpost, but Swedelga tells him not to get up. He's pushed himself hard today, so he should get some rest. Godin then explains that he has heard everything. They say he swung his mace once, and a whirlwind of air burst out, taking out 50 men in a single strike. Was that how it really went? Johann sighs, telling him not to exaggerate, but he kinda likes this praise, and he wants even more, to the point where even Vialco can hear it. Suddenly, though, someone else comes, noting that this boy is not exaggerating at all. It's Kumal, who notes that the Red Iron mercenaries do not see it that way. He deserves every bit of praise he receives. The way he charged straight at the enemy, it set all of their hearts ablaze. The valor he showed this day will be a great example for even dwarves like them. Johann notes that he flatters him, but he will accept this flattery gracefully. With everyone talking him up this much, Vialco will surely look at him in a more favorable light too, right? Suddenly someone else comes again, noting that his strength is impressive, but they are truly shocked by his tactics. It's the Holy Knights, both Villia and Agante, who wish him the kindness of their saints. Villia notes that if it weren't for him, they would have walked straight into an ambush. There aren't many knights who excel at strategy and tactics around this part. And beyond, she was deeply moved by his character. He actually spared the enemy commander. Johann guesses she's talking about the Minotaur. Once he actually fought the guy, he didn't really seem like much. Besides, there was no need to kill him, right? Vilya, with the same smile on her face as before, explains that a Minotaur possesses overwhelming strength. He could wipe out an entire mercenary group on his own. Even for them, a head-on fight would have been rather hopeless. Even if he showed an intent to surrender, an ordinary knight would have naturally cut off his head for the achievement of killing the hero slayer. This would be true, even if he was only a half Minotaur. However, he did not. Respecting a life, even if it's from an enemy, is a rare virtue. Johann thinks that's a bit much, and explains that he only kept him alive because it was necessary. This kind of praise is making him a little embarrassed. Svetlga clears his throat and asks if he even knows how many people have been slaughtered by Minotaurs on the battlefield. When humility goes too far, the ones praising him may end up feeling awkward, so he should accept it. With that, Johann actually takes their thanks, thanking them in turn, and Kumal thinks this is better. Their enemies are mercenaries too, so it's a fight worth having. After they reorganized, they should properly smash Einbeck's bunch. Suddenly, they hear a commotion coming from outside, and they all go to check it out, finding only a messenger from Gustav's posse. Kumal notes that, from the looks of him, it doesn't seem like he is here to deliver news of victory again. The messenger immediately goes to his knees and begs for reinforcements, as they were wiped out by a troll. That night, as they were following the remnants of the bandits through a swamp and taking them out one by one, they thought this was anticlimactic, to the point where it doesn't even get their blood up. Either way, they came here because they owe them a debt, right? They were never expecting an honorable fight in the first place. They all owe the trading company, so they should go and wipe them out as repayment. Count Bartok said the same thing, didn't he? Another elf noted that they should damn those trading company bastards. So what if they borrowed a little? They ran tattling to the Count. They'll keep chasing after them, as they'll have to take the spoils too. After all, they told them to listen. From this point on, they will pursue the fleeing enemy and annihilate them. They will strip them of anything that looks valuable, and anyone who pockets the loot themselves will be subsequently punished. His men charged in, and another of the knights now got off his horse, thinking that they should catch their breath and shake their equipment. He didn't even know there was a place like this near Marcel. Gustav agreed. It's the kind of place that makes one's skin crawl. Feels like something's about to jump out at any point. Sure enough, after a while of waiting, someone was coming. Someone who looked stranger, like one of their soldiers. But there's no way they finished the annihilation that fast, right? Suddenly they see that this soldier is almost entirely broken, and as he begs for help, a hand smashed into him, annihilating him. Gustav drew his blade immediately and asked what this is. That's when they came face to face with the troll. They fell into the trap those bastards set. The bandits vanished, and then a troll descended on them. Johann guessed as much. It was a trap to lure them deeper inside, but he's saying they're controlling a troll. There's no way something like that was in Einbeck's letter, right? The messenger explains that the 3 knights of Bartok are still there, so he begs them to please save his men. Kumal looks at the others and asks what they think. Vilya notes that it's their creed not to turn their backs on those in trouble, but this might be too much, and Agante agrees that for now, they will follow his judgment. Johann asks what kind of creature a troll is, as it'll be easier to decide once they know. Vilya explains that she has defeated a troll before. However, if she hadn't had the help of God, she wouldn't have had even a sliver of a chance. A troll's hide is tougher than any rock, and its muscles are like ropes of steel. It's so hard that most attacks don't even affect it. The monstrous strength comes from its overwhelming size, and is beyond what humans can even endure. What's truly horrifying is that even if one manages to pierce that hide and muscles while leaving a wound, it heals immediately, as if nothing had even happened. That's probably what happened to the others too. They managed to injure it but couldn't deal with it. The messenger tells them that there is no time for this. He just needs help. Johann asks Vilya what she thinks. Will she go to rescue them? She knows that if Kumal permits it, then she will do so. However, even if they run at full speed, those people have probably already entered their eternal rest. Kumal lets a loud sigh, but tells the elf soldier to listen. He apologizes, but he doesn't think he can send a rescue party. Their mission isn't finished yet. Besides, even if they go now, they can't guarantee they'll still be alive. Before anyone can say anything more, Johann agrees to go, confusing Kumal. This isn't something that he can take lightly, even if he took down a Minotaur. Johann explains that, with brave warriors like him here, he doesn't think it will be a serious problem if he steps away for a few hours. If they're sending a rescue party, he will go. Kumal is shocked, and notes that he already heard it. Now that even if they're going, it will likely be meaningless, on the contrary, only to put him in danger too. Johann asks, what if they're alive? What then? He cannot stand by and watch as a troll slaughters innocent people. If even one of them is alive, then is it not worth rescuing them? The 2 priests are amazed and very touched, and Johann crouches down to Kumal's level, asking him to send him. Kumal lets a loud sigh, and notes that he surprises him every single time. He will have his rescue party, but seriously, just how noble is his character? Godin is touched too, but Swedelga can see through his motives pretty well. Sure enough, Johann thinks that even if the opponent is a troll, the elf knights aren't weak either. If he hurries, they might be able to pull off a rescue, and they're from Orangs, right? He has heard that elves there are loaded, so as a reward, he is going to squeeze out as much gold as he possibly can. At the bandit camp, the bandit leader explains that a dispatch notice came in from the scouts. They said the elf knights have fallen into the trap. He can't help but laugh at this. If the elf knights of Orangs got wiped out just like that, then the relationship between the city magistrate of Marseille and Orangs will definitely be finished. Janina tells him not to celebrate just yet. They didn't manage to draw in the main party force, and the bullhead mercenaries surrendered too. From what she's heard, a considerable amount of the Emperor's gold coins were spent on them specifically. What happened for them to surrender this easily? She wonders. The Baron thinks that the bullhead mercenaries were disposable from the start anyway. Although the bandit leader notes that it's the first time he's hearing about it, the Baron suddenly pulls out a letter with a very important-looking crest, and explains that the real plan lies elsewhere, so they shouldn't worry. More importantly, how is her troll doing? Is he doing fine? He has heard previously that trolls are weak to fire. If the elf knights figured out some way to counter it, it would be quite a bad situation for them. Janina tells him not to worry. Why does he think she stationed the troll in that swamp? That area has higher humidity than most places, so even torches do not light up well. The bandit leader guesses that there is nothing to worry about then, and she confirms as such. Without even being able to light their torches, they will meet their fate in the abyss of darkness and die by the hands of her creation. The church party makes their way into the swamp. Johann is surprised that they have a flame that burns really well in a swamp like this. What did she call this fire again? Vilya explains that it's Ina's fire, a holy magic. It's a spell passed down through their monastery for generations, mainly used when exterminating monsters like this. Johann guesses they hunt trolls with Ina's fire, and she confirms as such. A troll's rapid healing ability can be suppressed with the holy magic of this fire. Thanks to this sacred flame, they were able to kill that troll. Johann asks if it's different from normal fire, and she confirms as such. The casting speed varies depending on scale. Once it catches, even water won't put it out, and it burns whatever it catches to the very end. It's a flame of purification that incinerates the impure according to the caster's will. Truly, it is a cleansing flame. Johann is a bit scared, as that seems eerily similar to white phosphorus. She is impressive in many ways though. Holy magic, swordsmanship and stamina that doesn't fall behind the horse's speed is pretty incredible. Vilya laughs, noting that it is the result of receiving God's grace and training every single day. Johann admits it's reassuring to have her accompany them. He was a bit worried since they are such a small elite group. They don't hunt the troll the hard way now. They should draw its attention just enough, then rescue the elf knights. They've got brains, so there is no way they'll keep fighting a monster that regenerates endlessly, right? They're probably hiding somewhere. That would be the wiser choice. But in reality, Gustav is telling his men not to retreat, no matter what, and kill it, and seize the honor of taking down a troll. Suddenly, Karamov begins to growl and bark, making Johann know that it seems like he has found something. Sure enough, the horses of the knights are in front of them, and they are simply running away, just as a loud, bone-crunching scream can be heard. Johann, for some reason, thinks that his prediction is wrong. He can't believe they've been fighting this entire damn time. Vilya thinks it's good news though. It means that they are still alive. She explains that with the flames of this level, they cannot handle a troll. They should prepare a stronger flame. Johann understands then. He will go and buy her some time, but that's not really what she meant. Johann rushes in, telling Karamov to herd the horses that ran off, and continues running despite Vilya's attempt to drag him back with her voice. She tells her sisters to focus, as they have to create a stronger Ina's fire to help them. She pierces her sword into the ground and begins to pray, creating a circle and a cross with their blades, which begins to create even more fire that permeates even through the damp air and water of the swamp. Gustav is fighting the troll, as expected, dodging an incoming strike and slashing another with his blade. He is skilled, incredibly so, but the strike he put on the troll just closes back up, making his efforts fruitless, and he is running out of breath too. The troll screams at him, but Gustav tells him to shut up, as his breath smells. He thinks this is really bad. The soldier's morale is entirely broken, and his comrades are completely exhausted too. What does he even do right now? All they can do is maintain this standoff. Suddenly, one of his knights, Laurent, drops his blade, making Gustav ask what he's doing. He apologizes, but he cannot go any further. While that damn troll finishes him off, he should leave him behind, take the man, and go. The troll, seeing an offering so easy to grab, immediately rushes in and tries to grab Laurent. But before he can be killed, something pierces the troll right into its neck. A spear. How did someone manage to drive a spear into that hard body? Before they can wonder who it was, Johann screams at them, telling them not just to stand there blankly and make haste out of here. That same night, at the Katana Trading Company in Marseille, Vialco gets a letter from a ghost. Ion confirms as such the 500 men of the Oak Tree Mercenaries. They are requesting that the Marseille gate be opened at midnight tonight. It must be Einbeck's doing. Vialco thinks so as well. The Oak Tree Mercenaries, they were the first subjugation, for they were sent out to wipe the bandits. But what awaited them was the Emperor's elite mercenaries. The mercenary group, caught off guard, was naturally annihilated, and Baron Einbeck used a crest of the dead Bradil to forge a letter. In the end, this letter is a deception meant to bring down Marcel's final line of defense. What if that is the case? Ion completely agrees, even if they truly are their true real survivors. This is something that can be confirmed tomorrow morning after sunrise. Not tonight. Vialco agrees. It seems they are of the same mind. This time, he's already given the guard captain strict orders. Tonight, no danger of any kind will cross Marcel's walls. In the tent, Johann left. Godin is praying in the middle of the night over a candle, and Swetelga notices. Is he that worried about Johann? Godin confirms as such. He knows his master is courageous, but a troll is not an opponent a human can defeat in battle easily. Swetelga agrees as he sits down. To kill a troll, one would need at least the strength of a legion, but there is no need to worry. Does his master not possess two waters containing the secrets of the Iphael River, the water of blessing and the water of wrath, right? If the water of wrath is applied to the weapon and used, it can inflict fatal damage, and Johann will use that water wisely. After throwing the spear, Johann tells Gustav to get him and his men out of here, and he thinks this is good. With his strength alone, he can pierce its hide, though it will recover soon, so he'll just buy enough time for everyone to escape. Naturally, his dumbass completely forgot that he has the water of wrath on him. Before they can retreat, another of the knights, Leon, thinks that this is their chance to put an end to it. Johann thinks Leon is an idiot, and Gustav screams at him to get back, as this is too much to handle. Leon refuses. If a human knight can damage it, so can they. Before he even unleashes one strike, the troll kicks him away so hard that he skids across the water and causes extreme internal damage. Johann can't believe these bastards. After he went through the trouble of saving them like this, they dare to end their lives like this. The troll simply takes out the spear from his throat and throws it away. Seeing this, Johann charges in again, as he wants the troll to focus solely on him. It would be best if Gustav and the soldiers could get enough time to run, even if he'd rather pass on a death match against a troll. In that case, he decides to unleash one more hit in the leg and run away. It seems that he has sealed his mobility, at least for a moment. However, Johann has severely underestimated the troll, as he simply ignores the pain and grabs him fully from behind. Gustav screams for him, but there is nothing they can do anymore. The troll raises him high in the air, and Johann knows that he got too damn close. He is basically done for. At Marseille, the guards continue holding the doors closed, but suddenly they see a bunch of people outside. Is this the subjugation force? Have they returned that quickly? However, they also see that they carry the Oak Tree Mercenary sigil. Are these ghosts? The bandits clearly annihilated them, weren't they? No, it's just as the city magistrate said. He calls out an emergency, telling all personnel to gather at the gate soon, to the defensive walls, and not to let them inside the gates under any circumstances. Vialco and Ion hear the commotion, and Ion guesses they've come. She will send a letter and confirm with the commander. If they truly are survivors, they will respond. Suddenly, through the door, a voice notes that this will not be necessary, shocking them both. They have quite ghostly expressions on their faces. Have they seen a ghost? It seems they were looking for the commander, weren't they? So he came himself. Ion is shocked. Wasn't he dead? The commander is ashamed to say this, but it must be said. The Holy Empire has a lot more gold than they do. Vialco finally understands. The Oak Tree Mercenaries were brought by Einbeck, weren't they? And the Oak Tree commander explains that as of this moment, the city of Marseille will be under the control of the Oak Tree Mercenaries of the Holy Empire. Back in the swamp, Johann can't do anything as the troll smashes him into the ground with a force so hard that it makes the water around them smash into the air. They all stare at Johann, but it's pretty clear that he is dead. The many men of the Oak Tree Mercenaries that are outside the Marseille gates are actually a ruse. In truth, they are just puppets with torches placed near them to seem like they're carrying them or something. It's an extremely clever tactic that, no matter what happens, will allow them entry inside of the gates. Even if they stop them at the main gates, the bribed guards will open the underground water passage for them. Sure enough, one does so, and is immediately taken out, his usefulness having been fulfilled. That is how Bradil got inside of the keep. Bradil congratulates his men for killing that traitor, as someone who sells himself for a handful of silver coins has no place inside of the empire. He tells the men he gathers to listen well. They shall now take Marcel while the guards are pinned defending the wall. They must capture the commander. The rest of them will follow him, as they are going to find a city magistrate. Bradil tells Vialco to not look at him that way. Even if they take control of the city, they will preserve his authority. Ion is annoyed. He dares to attack Marcel and then have the nerve to say such things. How are they supposed to trust them now? Bradil claps. As expected of her, she certainly has nerves of steel. However, she should not test his patience any further. Trading companies profit best by backing the winning side. Marcel's guard commander has already been captured, so the rest have surely thrown down their weapons and surrendered too. There is nothing more they can do here. They aren't even asking for much. He pulls out a parchment and puts it on Vialco's table. He should just write them an order for the subjugation forces that all troops are to cease combat and surrender to the enemy, also to swear an oath of loyalty to the emperor too. If he does that, then he will have no need to stain his hands with his blood, right? Johann lies dead in the ground, and the troll moves on to the ones who attacked him first, the few puny elves that are left. Gustav has had enough. He tells the other knight to take Leon and the troops and fall back, as he will buy them time. He refuses as he wants to stay, and tells some of his men to help Leon quickly, but suddenly Gustav screams at him, explaining that this is an order, not from a friend but from his superior. He will go now. Before he can say anything more, Gustav charges at the troll, telling it to come, as he wants to die an honorable death in combat. As they fight, the last vestiges of consciousness seep out of Johann. He remembers his old master's words, that he should not fight an enemy he cannot defeat. If danger comes, he will run. If he must fight, then he must kill them. That is the rule to never die. He apologizes now, as it seems he has reached his limit. His body won't even move anymore. He's too tired to move anyway. He closes his eyes and looks back on it. Life really was a painful endeavor. Now his heart will just stop. He deserves some rest too, some peace and quiet, and he will gain those after death. Before that can happen though, something akin to a woman comes close and kisses him on the cheek. He immediately opens his eyes with a new steeled resolve. He refuses to die. If he cannot escape death, then he will do something else. He makes a fist and punches himself in the chest as hard as he can, denting his armor and restarting his heart. He gets up, as if he cannot escape death. Then he will slay that damn thing itself. Gustav continues his fight against the troll, putting it on his honor, and for Laurent, but suddenly another spear flies through the troll, this time much harder with a lot more force than before, making the troll scream in pain. Gustav is confused, but suddenly Johann tells him to back away, looking more like a vengeful spirit than a man. He tells everyone to get out of his damn way, as he has a score to settle with this mindless beast. At that very moment, near Marcel, at the Einbeck main base, the Baron is informed that they have news. Marcel has fallen. He immediately celebrates. What did he say? It was all in the palm of his hand. Janina laughed. She thought he was just some punk relying on his family name, but he is actually useful, so this won't be the end, will it? The Baron naturally confirms as such. Vialco and Iaon must be executed, just because they have wealth. Those lowly merchants dared to meddle in politics. He will eliminate all of the merchant rebels in the anti-emperor faction that have been a thorn in his side all this damn time. Thus he will purify this defiled city. With this, the other trading companies on this continent shall know that even with their lowly money, they cannot buy noble blood and honor. They all hold a toast, and after drinking, the bandit leader notes that he will report this joyous news to the emperor. The Baron agrees, but he should be sure to tell him that this was his strategy which took Marcel. As the bandit leader walks through the forest, he thinks the Baron is a cunning bastard. He was really planning to monopolize all the credit, wasn't he? He really thought he'd report to His Majesty exactly what he wanted. Before he can think on how he can ruin his reputation, he sees a bunch of horses. What are they doing in such a deep forest? From the looks of things, these horses must be from some dead knights. This white one is especially nice. They'll behave, right? He mounts the white horse and thinks that whoever owned it is a fine steed indeed. He could reach the imperial palace much quicker with this. He tries to make the horse move, but it doesn't, and it digs in the ground with its hoof. Suddenly, though, he hears a very, very low growl, and in front of him, Kuramov has just noticed that someone is trying to take his master's property. Leon wonders if it's really okay for that human knight to face the beast alone. Should they not join in? Gustav refuses. As much as he does not want to admit it, he's faced that monster dozens of times. But not only did he fail to wound it, he didn't even make it cry. Yet this human knight hit it with a spear once, and made it scream so loud. They haven't been able to inflict wounds of that severity on it at all this time. If they join in, they will only be a hindrance. So now is the time to witness this knight's honorable battle. Johann charges in, prepares his spears, and throws them mightily into the troll. However, the troll just brushes them off. Gustav wonders if he'll just rely on spear throwing. That will not deal a fatal blow. Just what is this human knight thinking? Before he can wonder anymore, Johann's fury takes a hold of him, and he charges in. He ducks under one of the troll's punches, and unleashes one of his own right to the troll's side, making the beast actually throw up blood with his bare hands, shocking everyone. He continues this adamant charge, hitting the troll again and again and again, but the troll is annoyed now, so it tries to unleash a mighty strike on Johann, which he actually matches, smashing his fist into the troll, creating a shockwave of power. The troll's hand actually begins to shred itself from the force, causing it to scream, and allowing Johann to jump in. He grabs the troll's head and smashes his chin in with his knee with a force so hard that it makes the beast stumble back and fall into the water, just like he did a few minutes prior. Leon is simply shocked and asks Gustav if he is not dreaming. Gustav remains silent for a while, but then tells Johann to do it now. Before that thing recovers again, they must retreat quickly. Johann, however, isn't even hearing him. He climbs over the tired beast and puts both his hands into its mouth, grabbing its jaw tightly. He begins pulling up with a force that could move a mountain. The troll tries to wiggle around to force him to stop, and it actually manages to grab Johann's neck, but this does not stop him. He continues pulling and pulling until the beast can only scream, and a loud, ugly tearing sound can be heard throughout the entire swamp, shocking Gustav and the others. Johann catches his breath loudly, completely and utterly spent. But with the troll's jaw completely removed, it should be finished. Thank you for watching. See you next time.